Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support the show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today. Welcome to episode 293 of Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast. Today, I am joined, as always, by the 49ers shirt. I'm just starting to process this a bit. I wonder what's going on. Lord Cognito. How are you doing today, good sir?
Getting ready, man. Getting ready. Football season is upon us. So
All right, we're warming up.
Warming up. I got things to talk about later, but yeah, I definitely got things to talk about. But I'm in my bag. Just I've got Gamescom going on. You know, the prep for that is really coming through, and then last minute looks like PAX might be in my future. So yeah, some really interesting developments. Like I said, we talked about offline, and I you know what it is? It's just, as a person who's trying to maintain a fairly reasonable schedule, I just seem to always get caught up with just overwhelming things that I just literally like, damn, I can't say no to that. Like, this is
too exciting. Yeah.
So it's just one of those.
Right now.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I thought I was going to have like a chiller week. You know what I mean? And now it just started to ramp back up again, but more like planning and stuff like that. But yeah, I just haven't had a lot of time. So good busy, but we're hanging in there. We're recovered, you know. I saw my follow-up with the dentist and oral surgeon. He was like, I'm free to go crazy now. Everything's feeling good now. And I had I was literally scared to chew on that side. I was really scared. Yeah. So I was like, all right. Yeah. So I was like, I started slow and I did those little tests and now rise and I'm passed. And I'm like, all right, we get used to it now. So I'm almost full and back to the gym full speed. So now I can turn up because technically I did break the rule though.
Okay.
Technically,
what'd you do?
After day 2, day 3, they still like no physical activities, no running. So I did the no running part. I'm good at no running. I'm excellent with that.
Some iron, didn't you?
Yes, I say, well, I'm gonna do just machines only, very light. And I was like,
maintenance mode.
Yeah, maintenance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now you feel, because I guess what it is, they saw what the blood rushing through there. Yeah, something. So I was safe about. I just couldn't, bro. It would have been a week no gym. Like there was no way. There was no way. So I did that, and then shout out to Long Island Retro. I got a chance.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. I saw you went, dude. That place is amazing, isn't it?
You gotta go.
I've been there. Yeah,
you've been. Yeah, it's the Aviation Museum.
Yes, dude. That place is so awesome,
bro. And for me, they now changed a little bit of how things are situated. So now they have this thing, what I call it's sort of like the museum, the Hall of Gaming is what I call it. Yeah, and they got like the billboards from the very beginning. With you know, Pong and all that stuff, and Jerry Lawson, the first guy that did the cartridge, and then you go year by year, and it's like an 88 this and 85 Nintendo, and they got the physical consoles there up and running with it, and I'm like, bro, the memories, the feels, and then they do a tournament. They had an NHL 94 95 tournament.
Really?
Like, bro. Prize money, like it was so like. Shout out to my boy Petey from lordsofgaming.net. He lives out there. He was always trying to get me to go, and in the last 2 years I've done it, and it's some of the best experience. And again, in a world where physical has been under attack, I will admit, Maddie, I was very appreciative. Yes, it felt good. I was like, this is history. This is why we gotta preserve this. There's so many people who would never. And another thing for me, last thing I'll say is, I was a handheld guy. Now, I was weird because you know me, I always picked the losing team. So Game Boy, you know me, my history is always with the elves, right? So
I completely relate.
I love what I love. I can't control it. I've always
love an underdog, don't we?
It's underdog story must be with me. So Game Boy was Game Boy, right? And I think one of my other cousins had one. But I remember when it was time for me, I was like, damn, which color one should I get? It was like Atari Lynx. It was Game Gear. They had all of them there, bro. It was sick. So it just took me back to that place, man. I loved it. Shout out to my boy. I got to talk to him because I was on the hunt for a Turbo Express. Real quick story. I was on the hunt for a Turbo Express, That is like my holy grail. I think that's one of the perfect handhelds. Plays the slot, the card, the hue card of the Turbo 16. So shout out to LSM. I ain't gonna blow them up. You know who you are. So LSM was in the building. And I was like, yo, they were like, you were here? I didn't even know you were here. So we connected up. So I was like, yo, I just tell people like, yo, if you see one. So they was like, yeah, I got it. I was like, oh, I didn't know that you gonna buy it. Like after I left, they said, yeah, I gotta have held it for you. So I was like, well, what's the damage? I was like, oh boy, all right, we gonna work it out. But I was like, I wasn't expecting. Usually you get the like, yo, it's here.
Do you want
it? Yeah, not. Yo, I'm gonna go cop this Lamborghini. You was looking for a Lamborghini? I got the Lamborghini. Purchased here.
Like, how much interest on that?
Yeah, I'm like, Jesus. That's what I knew my fandomness. Not fandomness, but like people who really show a lot of love to us and really know how passionate I am. And they say, nah, cop, we really want you to have this and we gonna work this out. And I'm like, wow. So that's love. So I ain't gonna blow up you because you know who you are, but we will work it out because I do want it. You know what I'm saying? It's just that right now, the budget is Gamescom and PAX and then other things. But once the budget calms down, then we will work on the budget.
What's the budget? What is this like? This is new to me. I'm usually on the other end of this. What's a budget?
The budget is, you don't say, but the budget is when you really broke right now. So it's the budget.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right now we not supposed
to be for the week.
Bro, it is ramen. Yo, Sov is so furious with me. When I even put PAX in the chat, he was like, bro, we just jumped in suits to do Gamescom. Like, you saw what they had me. They had me in some D. They had Sov with Frieza. Attic was, Flintstone. And King was Scooby-Doo. This was voted on.
I did happen to see this. Astro made a personal connection. He reached out to me and he said, get your man. And I said, what's going on here? So I click and I said, this has to be AI, you know? I mean, AI got me earlier this week. You saw that.
Yeah, I saw that,
with the tuna sandwich. That was not me.
Yeah, that was clearly not you. The AI is wild out here.
And there's no way that Sov's wearing a Frieza outfit, like, right? Right? Like, technology's crazy, dude.
It's crazy how they got us, man. So we reached our goal thanks to the ILV community. We have hit it because we hit it. It's only right now we pay it back. The things that they told us that we had to do, and we had to do the super chats and the voices. I had to do the Diddy voice. And King had to do this. Bro, I had to do the take that, get the baby. What's up, Playboy? What's up? What we doing? I had to do all that. King, so I go front. Sov is the greatest Frieza ever. He did the whole show super chats in Frieza voice. Hey, monkeys. And I'm like, yo, it was wild. He had the suit and the tail. It was dope. So that is why Sov is upset, because he's like, bro, we just got this major bill that we just getting through. We're barely scraping to get to Germany. And here you come talking about PAX West. And I'm like, all right, fine. I will have to come out. Yeah, I have to come out my pocket. So that's everything with me. What's been going on with you, sir?
Let's see here. Well, a lot like you, a lot of preparation for travel. Means a lot of great opportunities coming through. I'm really excited for the stuff that we'll be able to make while we're out there. So there's a lot of good stuff to look forward to on that. Unfortunately, I have to be like super vague about it. I apologize. I know it's like annoying to listen to, but it's one of those things where I'm just like, oh yeah, like this is the type of shit I like. I really love to make. Like, I like doing the news a lot, but like I love just like playing games and talking about them. That's why I like podcasting. So like for me, I'm really in my bag, but also I'm excited about Gamescom because, like, you know, I heard it's basically like this is E3. Like, this is the E3 now. I'm like, okay, I haven't experienced that since 2018. So I'm really, like when I went to E3 last, I was like, I'll be back. I was not ready to say goodbye. I'm still not ready. So a lot of prep for that. As you know, I was at an event today, so I was doing a little hands-on stuff today. So we are recording this dumb late compared to normally. We're done with the show by this point. It's 9:10 as we're kind of getting this thing up and rolling here. So appreciate you rocking with me on that. But just busy time. There's always something to be done here. And it's funny, you mentioned about like, oh, I was ahead. I thought I was gonna have a quiet week. It was the same thing, dude. I like pre-recorded Retro Rebound last week. I was like, all right, like we're good. Or I shouldn't say last, but like over the weekend, which I normally don't do. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna clear up some time just to be able to stretch my legs a bit during the week. Nope. little Elder Scroll 6 tease, little this, little that, and here we are.
Yeah,
9 p.m. starting the podcast.
Happy to start the podcast. I'm with you, brother. Same
Yeah.
deal.
So I'm in the same pocket as you. You know, I
Mhm.
think it's just the nature of our business is that the opportunities ramp up where you're just like, you know, you see what your audience would definitely be interested in, and you're like, oh, they would kill me if I didn't like bring this out to them. Like, of course they would want this. So, and I'm excited about this. So this is the ideal win-win, right? So a lot of cool stuff on the docket for multiple channels. So
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
excited to get out there. I'm excited to see you, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to see you,
Yeah.
bro. It's gonna be dope. And then, like I said, Germany first time. Like it's really cool. You know what I'm saying? And we've done some cool things with Defining Duke, but I'm
Mhm.
excited, you know what I'm saying, to see what's
I'm
up. And then
excited too.
obviously, yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to just to be there and see what
Yes.
happens. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Shake hands and hang out a little
Yeah,
bit.
hang out. That's it.
Right on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you being here. Thanks for hanging with us. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/laststandmedia is your place to be. You can write in on our Patreon thread every Monday that goes live. And then the show will go live to patrons on Thursdays. Otherwise, if you want to listen for free, YouTube, Apple, Google, Spotify, podcasts, wherever they are, you can listen to us there. So we appreciate you no matter where you are listening. And let's tap into our audience a bit here with probably one of my favorite health as well. I'm going to be honest with you.
Let's go.
There's one that's like a good, I think just a good question that lets us get into our bag and our history the way we like to. But then there's one that if you have not seen this video, like this is one of the funniest fucking things I've seen, man. I cannot wait to get your reaction on this. So let's start with the more serious one first. This comes from a big, dumb, stupid idiot who's clearly not that, because he writes, "Hey, Duke dudes, after 4 years of grinding at work, I earned a promotion to a leadership position. This is my first experience being the boss man, so I'm seeking advice from seasoned boss men before the imposter syndrome kicks in. Cog, you've had several serious big boy positions at serious big boy companies, and Maddie, you've been your own boss since you were a prepubescent teen, and you're leading a team to make a game. I'll gladly take any leadership advice to heart from you boys. Have a respect my authority kind of day." I thought you were going to make, honestly, like a 14 layers of middle management joke, dude. Opportunity. Anyway, congrats. Very excited for you. Cog, you've worked in the real world is what I like to define it. I've worked for myself the whole time, and that's a blessing into itself. But you have the more, I'd say, defined, respectable experience. So let's have you kick us off here.
Sure.
What should he know?
Shout out to big dumb stupid idiot. I love the first of all, congratulations on the promotion. Leadership positions, you know, it's real, right? And you've earned it. So they saw the work ethic, they saw what you've put in, and they have deemed you worthy to do this. So look, that's what you gotta, you have the skill set. The thing I would say is imposter syndrome is real. Very real. So the key to that, to me, is preparedness. All you can do is prepare for the role as best you can, but you also have to come into the mindset that you're not going to know everything. And I think that's what gets us, because from the very first day, we want to hit the ground running. We want to know everything. We hate not knowing, because we look at it as like some form of weakness. And you got to look at it like, yo, you're information gathering, you're getting all the details, you get all your ducks in order. So yeah, the main thing I would say is don't be afraid to not know. Ask pointed questions, right? And then also, it's okay to rely on others and delegate. That's another thing, mistake people. Sometimes we try to take on everything, and then that kind of makes your plate full, and you don't have a chance to really be able to do everything you need to do. So I would just say that from the very beginning, understand that you're not going to know everything. Delegate. Also, be a sponge. Listen. Sometimes the answers are just by good listening. That's as well too. But you're gonna be fine, man. You made it there for a reason. That's the thing. They saw something in you, and you've been promoted for a reason. So take that advice. That's what I got short term. What you got, Maddie?
I only want to piggyback off of one thing you really said there, because it stood out to me the most, and sort of what was my lead one was just listening. Yeah. Like I think the worst thing you can do is not hear the people around you, and not even from like a courteous standpoint, but like there's a balance. Like at the end of the day, you're in a leadership position, so you'll have to make the call, but like getting all that information is obviously really important. And again, when you're a good listener, you are a careful considerer as well. That's the difference. Like there's hearing and listening and then consideration. I think all of that balances out well, where you'll make, just by proxy, good decisions because you have everything you need, right? The proper preparation. I think Cog also hit on something really well, which is kind of setting yourself up for success effectively. Like a lot of leadership really does come down to just, like you have to do your homework. You have to be the example is how I define it. I've worked with people who want to be leaders and they enjoy the idea of being leaders, but there are certain leadership qualities. Like you have to be the example for the team. And what you also have to accept is not everyone's going to follow that. And if my experience of my team and everything, it has been anything to go by, it's that someone will be behind somewhere at some point, and that it's never going to be perfect. Everyone in unison marching to their absolute perfect best point. There's always going to be like a little reassuring over here, a little helping over there. Like that's what you're there to do. There's always something to be done. So I would say my other piece of advice is like, expect great things, but don't expect perfection. I got caught up at one point very early expecting perfection. And I never put that on them. And mentally I was like, what the hell's going on here? Until I started to really dial in, be more hands-on, listen to problems, see how I could be the helper. That type of communication, I think, goes a long way. And again, understanding that when you're talking to certain members of your staff, right? Again, I would like to just emphasize the idea of like, so again, some people like the idea of being leaders because I think there's a sense of power that comes with it. There's money that comes with that.
Of course.
Clout that comes with that. Those are the main three things. And I think a lot of people love the idea of that. But when like push comes to shove, there are certain things that you have to consistently do. So kind of like what just building off what Cog said, just the preparedness. As long as you're doing that, I think you'll smash it. It's not easy, but the process to do it, I think, is simple. It's the tough part is the continuous execution of it, doing it over and over and over. When it's tough weeks, when it's great weeks, whatever it may be, just doing it every week. And then being honest with yourself, with your team, where it's like, if you didn't do your best, you have to be honest with them about that too. And again, I think that a lot of it's about earning respect. If your job is to get the best out of your people, you need that respect. And so you have to be honest when you're like, I set you up to fail. Like that's tough to admit, but like, I've been there. It's like, like I led you down the wrong path there. That's my bad. Like, let's do better this time. You were right. Like that sort of surrendering yourself to your team at times, not being a bitch, but like, surrendering yourself enough to like have the constructive conversations, super important. So
no, well said. Last point, just to add on, is also, explaining, having the balls to make the tough call, but explaining the thought process as to why, being clear, concise as to why the call is made, what your thought process is, why you go in that direction. Because you got to remember, not everyone's going to agree with everything, right? So the reasoning, and then standing on it and stuff like that. So all of that comes with it, man. And like I said, you will get there. It's all experience, and it's all going to come through. But I'm respecting that. I'm respecting your authority.
Absolutely. All right, this next one's hilarious. This comes from Dan XL. Have you seen this video, Cog?
I've seen it.
Okay, good. All right, so let's read the write-in. It says, hey, Dukes, I wanted to add some context to the video I shared with both of you on Twitter yesterday. I had my wisdom teeth taken out and was under the influence for several hours. I've always seen hilarious videos of people after their surgeries, but I never quite understood just how potent the truth serum was until Monday. I decided to come clean about something I felt for a long time. For years now, I've watched and listened in silence as others mock Starfield. And I'm looking at you, Maddie. I've been subjected to dozens of hours of harassment and a constant barrage of negativity surrounding the game. At this point, I've scrolled through endless comments and posts just begging for a moment of reprieve. It was simply time to speak my truth, and the drugs gave me the courage that I once lacked. In that moment of sheer vulnerability, all I cared about was making sure I told the world how I really felt. That Starfield is one of the greatest games ever made. Now that this revelation is public knowledge, I hope my tears can then move other Starfield lovers to come out from hiding. Please don't be ashamed. Instead, be bold and help me evangelize the truth. If you need more encouragement, you can find me in the No Sodium Starfield subreddit. And Cog, please don't ever stop humming that Starfield tune. Now, if anyone wants to look up Dan XL's Twitter account, please. There's a video of this man post-surgery, and he starts crying because of how much he loves Starfield. And that's the part that got me every time. I rewatched that, Dan. I rewatched this video like 5 times. I called my wife. I was like, you got to see what someone just sent us. I was like, I've done this for half my life. And I've been sent tons of shit before, like funny shit, crazy shit. This takes the cake. There is nothing better than the guy tagging Cog and I just being like, I'm speaking my truth about Starfield. I'm like, all right, let's see what it is, bro. Like and it's this guy just straight up crying over how good he thinks this game is. I was like, I can't take it away from him anymore. I got nothing to say. God,
I love it, man. First of all, preach the good word, brother. Preach the good. Let it flow for you. Now, see, I relate to him because, wow, this is relatable to me. The way he feels about Starfield is the way I feel about Destiny. So I get harassed like constantly. Just that my own podcast mates hate when I like even mention it. Like I got to the point where I don't even want to mention it because I feel like I don't have a safe space. Like I don't have a safe space. Everywhere I go, if I even say the word, "Hey, I was playing," you still play. Why are you playing that? There's no more content, bro. It's over, bro. Oh.
Just accept it, dude.
Yeah, I'm just like I had fun. I liked it though. Like yeah. I was having. So I know what that is. With internet discourse is one thing, and you're not supposed to like this thing because everyone else hates it. And what I would say is, like I said, speak your truth. Be amongst like-minded individuals. Create your
hug box, please.
Exactly. Share your love and passion and be together. But no, it is. I will say this era of gamers, it's very hive-mindy, and bro, they will go in on you if they don't like something. My thing is, I'm just, you know what it is, Maddie? I just don't subscribe to taking other people's joy away.
Yeah, I get you.
Even if I don't care about it, it's like, bro, that man is living his best life, loving this thing. Let him love it. So yes, enjoy your Starfield. Do your thing, brother. I am with you.
Yeah, I had to defend Starfield's honor a little bit on stream today. Like, a lot of people go after Bethesda's writers, which I get. There's a lot of points in Bethesda games where you're just like, man, with some great writing, like this could go really far. But I had to defend Starfield's honor in one way. Someone like wrote in there, like, if only Starfield's writing wasn't like absolute dog shit. I'm like, all right. I said, okay, let's fucking take a breath for a moment here. I said, this game has Andreja, which is like an amazing character, I think. Like, genuinely. Like, I am Mr. Critical of every ounce of fucking writing. And that doesn't mean I'm always right about things, but like, I scrutinize heavier than most reviewers for sure. Like, people complain all the time to me. I put too much stock into it. So I tolerate most Bethesda writing. I don't think it's frankly as fucking dog shit as like a lot of people say it is. Is it like CD Projekt Red good or Owlcat good or Baldur's Gate? No. But do I think it's passable? And in cases of their older games, great. Yeah. Like, I think there's places in Fallout 3 and Oblivion where I'm like, yeah, dude, Skyrim, even to some extent, I'm like, yeah, this is like some good shit. But Starfield falls into, I think, a little bit of a lower tier, but like characters such as Andreja, I'm like, okay, I said, like, not everything here is awful. Right. You could call it a diamond in the rough, even like not the whole game, but like you could call it the way the game is written. Like there's the UC Vanguard questline. I think that's a fun one.
Oh, I love that.
It's a fun one. So I was like, there's pockets. I get the overall experience. Like I'm with people a little bit on like, it's good.
Right.
Like I get the overall experience was not as what I had hoped it would be.
Exactly.
But like this like terminal dog shit where it's like, just everything about it's awful. I'm like, I'm not there. The critiques I have with it mostly have to do with like habits that began in Fallout 4. It's like, you guys got to understand this is not what we like about your games all these years later.
Right.
So I do think Starfield gets roughed up a little extra because of that versus if they listened after this game and made adjustments, like not doing everything procedural from loot to levels, then maybe Starfield's ideas would be a little bit more warmly received. But that's from someone who's very critical of it. So I think everyone should be able to still hum their stuff. But yeah, definitely like the whole idea you were talking about like Destiny, that's me with like anything Bethesda Game Studios. Like when I was doing my theory crafting for Elder Scrolls, they're like, I can't believe you don't get how much we disdain them. I'm like, I don't care, dude.
Yeah, bro, that's what I was saying.
I don't like I express my own disdain, which aligns with a lot of the community because I think we're all like-minded, level-headed people in my community. But I don't care. Like if I'm gonna just puppet your opinion, bro, that's the last thing you want.
Exactly.
Like I have fun theory crafting for these games. I always have. I've done it for half my life. And I went through a period where I stopped because so many people were yelling at me for it. I'm like, why the fuck would I stop that, dude? This is like something I really enjoy doing. And so I'm back to doing it. I was like, I don't care if you call me the crazy fanboy or whatever the fuck it is. You know, at this point in my career, it's like, it just every name on the list. So I'm like, okay, like, I welcome it. Sure. Call me a fanboy. Fuck. Don't stop, please.
Oh my God.
So I don't know, bro. I feel you on that. So Dan, I respect your speaking your truth. Now, did you
Absolutely.
have to cry over it?
Yeah, that was wild.
You have to have the snot in your nose
You
over
get
it.
the snot bubble too. I was like, oh, that's the good cry. You know, you got the and the snot bubble. You know, it is.
You had the tissue ready and everything, man.
Yeah,
that was an unbelievable video. Well worth the watch. If anyone looks it up, just say Cog and Maddie sent him.
Yep, Dan XL, salute.
All right, speaking of cogs, let's talk about Gears of War. EA's doing some things, and maybe by the time this episode goes live and the public beta is out, it'll also be doing some things. Let's talk about it. Eurogamer has the write-up here that Gears of War E-Day is starting to smash some series records over on PC. They say it's only rolled out its first stage of the open beta, and series records have been shattered on Steam. According to SteamDB, the multiplayer beta for Gears of War E-Day has hit a 24-hour peak concurrent player count of 14,331. And this is expected to rise as we enter the weekend proper and get some reprieve from work. Compared to Gears of War games released on Steam, this is a new record. Tactics hit an all-time peak of 7,351 roughly 6 years ago, while Gears 5 hit 10,196. Gears Reloaded, this is another idea, just like how bad this game did. 4,819. Like, what the fuck?
Wow. That's so perspective, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. There is some important context needed here. The original trilogy is not present here, nor is Gears of War 4. In addition, prior releases like Gears of War 5 would have been available through alternative storefronts like the Microsoft Store on PC. In fact, Gears 5 was playable on launch relatively cheaply for the price of a Game Pass subscription. It's very possible that the initial player count figures are actually much higher. We know through an old Microsoft blog post that it was a record-breaking PC release, apparently tripling the performance of Gears 4 on release. Even so, it's likely that Gears of War E-Day's beta can perform even better. Not only are we properly enjoying the weekend, not enjoying the weekend yet, this week is set aside for those who have pre-ordered the game, which is why I wanted to share this data. I was like, oh, that was an interesting little nugget there. For everyone else curious about the game, they can do so without paying a penny now this week. It says in the article next week. And one would hope that given few barriers to entry, a greater number of players will draw in. So I am going to pay attention to these next suite of numbers to see what happens. But I thought that this was pretty interesting to see that like Gears E-Day is making a little breakthrough. The main thing that stood out to me was more the organic marketing that was occurring. A lot of clips on my feed, a lot of videos. I would open up my YouTube app, dude, and I'd get like recommended a Gears of War E-Day short of someone like playing it.
Wow.
And I'm seeing some movement. And I don't know if you felt the same way, but this is like the first Xbox game in a while that wasn't Forza, where it was like, oh, people are really playing this and talking about it and sharing it. And there's like a real positive, like true positive, like non-negotiable positive feeling about this game right now. Like the core fans are super happy. And yeah, man, look at the core fans being treated happy and the Steam records being broken. You got to wonder.
You got to wonder what the correlation could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what it could be. Yeah, bro, I'm with you. It's two things for me. It showed me, after coming off the Halo situation, that Gears, they got it, man. They got it. Like they are, the face from the, the action genre, the traditional game genre. Sorry, Forza Bros. We know you're the king, but you know what I'm saying? Like the traditional gamey game, who is the face IP? It's Gears is retaking it. And it kind of reminds me of the 360 era. That's what really jumped the 360 era off was Gears being this very brash, in your face kind of title. So you see that, and then I want to give them credit for marketing, bro. WWE.
Yeah.
Blowout, bro. Like I was seeing it everywhere. I'm seeing the clips, and then obviously it definitely helps that the game is actually good. And obviously me and you got a chance to play it. I'll talk about what I played again a little bit. And it's dope, man. And I like to say that my choice about going back to the essence seems to have everyone riled up.
Do you think Gears 6 is doing this?
No. Let's just say it right now. Like, bro, you got to go back to it's like, you got to go in case of emergency break glass. There's just certain things that, people want. You got to get the people what they want. And that's what it is. And I will say the final thing is, I think a part of it also is the brand pride associated with its exclusivity. I do feel that from a core standpoint, I'm seeing positive energy about people about the brand, and this was one of the games to kind of lead that charge. And to the credit with the stats is This was just that was just the pre-orders, right? That was kind of like
Yeah.
that's 14,000. That's kind of
It's nice, yeah. Not like over dramatic, like oh shit, but like good start. And
exactly.
when it's the thing that will be very telling is when it's available to everyone.
Yes,
That's what I want to see.
we gotta see that for sure. For sure.
Like those numbers should. I say should as in the game's really good. If anyone's listening, like I know we run an Xbox show. Oh, of course they're good. No, doesn't. If you watch any of our old reviews, it doesn't work like that. But like for real, like if you're kind of like on the fence and you see that open beta, give it a shot, dude. This game is pretty fucking spectacular.
Yeah,
so good. So, congrats to the coalition in advance. Excited to see other numbers come in. We had a write in about this from Mr. Scott. If you're nasty, he says, "Dear Dukes of Manliness, boy, was I feeling mixed emotions when you fine gentlemen were giving your Gears E-Day thoughts. On one hand, I was like, oh man, this is sounding really good. On the other hand, I was like, damn, these noobs are already complaining about the multiplayer being too shotgun focused and whack. So can I really trust their opinions? As a conflicted Gears of War veteran, I'm happy to report the positive thoughts on Gears E-Day were well founded. The game's multiplayer is solid as hell. I'm pumped, but is 6 multiplayer maps enough at launch? How quick do they need to add more before it becomes stale? Even Gears noobs know Gears E-Day is it's good kind of. Why does Mr. Scott always got to take the run at us, bro? This guy,
always little jab, little jab
on there. Thank you, Mr. Scott. We appreciate you nonetheless. Yeah, dude. Like I was wondering about this a little bit. Like what's going to really push this thing over the line? Is it going to be the campaign, the horde? The multiplayer, like what's going to get people in? I feel like Gears multiplayer still has a little bit of a stink on it, even with the positive sentiment around E-Day. Like people have been debating the movement tech. You've seen pros get into it, and they're doing their movement stuff where it's not exactly like wall bouncing, where it's really bad, but you could see there's some levels to it. But I think nothing that looks super egregious. But there's still a level of people debating if that should even be part of the gameplay. So there's still that debate. But do you think that 6 maps is enough at launch? Certainly we come from the Halo Infinite days, where it's like, oh, that's not quite enough. But we know E-Day does have a post-launch roadmap they're planned for, and coalitions they're good deliverers of content. So I'd like to trust them with a roadmap. But do you think what's there is enough to hold people in the meanwhile?
I think so. I think because of the fact that, Gears multiplayer fans, I love you, but, a lot of people are tuning in to play this campaign and horde initially. Right, multiplayer, the casuals as myself, they will be hesitant to jump in there based on past reputation. But because now the reputation is good and people are, for the most part, are like, yo, I am liking this multiplayer suite more than I like. I think they're going to get a big jump from more than normal that they would have expected. To his question, in reference to adding more, I think they seem like they got a solid plan. And they seem like they're holding on to things that I know Gears hardcore fans want. So I'm not too worried about it. One thing about this live service game, man, you have to have the content lined up, that consistent level of content and content drip going on. So I'm not too worried about it. I think they'll be fine. The only, pushback I'll give to you noobs is, to the veterans from the noobs, is that you may want to consider a mode. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to take away, and I'll get into it as far as what I'm playing. I'm not trying to take away what y'all love. Y'all love what y'all love. But you have to admit, and this is the harsh reality, when you have a game that is only geared towards the hardcore at its core, Marathon, it's only going to be y'all playing. That's the harsh reality. No one wants to escape. Y'all not outside like that on esports. Y'all not outside like that on player numbers in terms of the versus multiplayer. See, my thing is I want you guys to be great. So my compromise is y'all like to do what y'all do, and I will discuss, what I'm saying, is that you may need to consider a mode. And sometimes you never know. Sometimes a mode in a game actually blows up and becomes something. You know what I'm saying? Fortnite would know. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's all the hardcore has to understand. You guys can do what you want to do, but yeah, other than that, I think they're going to be fine. And I think you see a huge influx once that main campaign. But I also love Horde, though.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with the modes because Halo is the best example of that. When I was firing up Halo 3 the other night, I was just like, I forgot just how many modes there are in Halo 3. Like, it's just like, shoddy snipers, like snipers only, of course, SWAT, just to name a few, just that are all like accuracy based or power weapon
Yeah.
based. Like, I don't know, dude. Like that sort of customization of the modes goes a really long way for Halo. And I think Gears is in the same like power weapon structure where it could benefit the same exact way.
I agree.
Especially nowadays where people are really looking its way, like some specific weapon based modes, like no shotties. I mean, I look at Call of Duty too. Like that's another example. That's a whole suite of modes, bro. A ton of them. Like, yeah, it always bothered me. Everyone's in on team deathmatch. I don't know if you're the one, like when you fire, I don't know if new CODs do this, but like the old CODs, you'd fire it up and you'd see like how many people are online versus how many are in that playlist. And it was always nasty top heavy for team deathmatch. Like you'd always see like a quarter of the people to half the people just playing that. And I'm like, you don't like to go for objectives. You don't like to, you like erratic spawn points. Like, you like limited kills versus these other modes like demolition or domination where it's an objective driven thing and like it's just killing within a timer, where team deathmatch says like you've killed enough. Like you like if you like to kill, you get more kills in the other modes. It just drives me fucking insane. But but like MW2 is a great example of like, dude, they had the third person modes in there. Hardcore was never popular. Remember?
Yes,
it was
that's
never
a good
popular.
point. That's a good point.
It had just these but it had like no HUD, heavy damage, and you'd get the biggest fucking sweats in hardcore. I used to, when I played game battles, do hardcore search and destroy solos.
So I was just looking at it. I literally just typed in search and destroy because that was taking me back. I was like, what was the name of that mode? It was search and destroy we used to play, and it was so fun not to cut you because
are you good?
That was when the mics were required, and then like your man died and you don't hear him no more, and it felt real. You'd be like, yo, Matt, you there? Oh, yeah. Oh, he got murked. I missed that. So continue.
Yeah, the HUD being cut off in hardcore, I think you never got to hear if someone died. You just like, you could only tell if they stopped talking.
Yes.
That's so funny. I forgot about that.
I
remember in hardcore though, with search and destroy, there were what you would call pre-fires in game battles. So you would like put FMJ on your Scar H and you'd like get up on top of a car and start like shooting through, like in Scrapyard, you'd start shooting through one of the planes. And the way the bullet penetration worked is you would actually kill someone in the crossfire in their spawn running by. And there was like nasty plays you could do like that. So there's nothing better than doing like solo game battles, hardcore search and destroy, and just pre-firing people through walls. This is where like your headset was so nice. Like you just hear the footsteps and just pop them through the wall, get the message like, yo, bro, you're fucking, I can't say what they'd actually say to me, but like, but they'd be like, you're fucking hacking, bro. All this shit. So good, man. I love that shit. So Gears E-Day, like, get in there, man. Get some modes going. I agree. I don't think it's to the loss of the hardcore. You'll still have your TDM, if you will.
Exactly. They're so protective, and I'm just like, bro, I just want this thing to be great. That's literally what it is. I really enjoyed what I played, and I know if casuals had these type of modes, they'd be more ingratiated to play a little bit more.
I agree. Like modes where this is not something I would personally play. I like how Gears of War health works, but like modes where there's way less health, so people who enjoy playing Call of Duty style games can just like drop people really fast. It would be their version of hardcore.
Yeah,
for sure. I think those sorts of things would go a long way. Just more modifiers, more tweaks.
I agree.
All right, well, that's some good news. I wanted to start us off positive because this next one's really interesting because what we've heard before, like, developer says this about X company or whatever, but like they've been fired already or something like that. This is a currently employed person at id Software. His name is Chris Hayes. He's a lead services programmer. And I mean, he just teed off on Xbox in a podcast called Well Played. And this is not like hyperbole or anything. Like he just straight up went in. So I'm going to read the quotes here from IGN, where it leads off with him saying, quote, "They don't fundamentally understand art," end quote. He continued on saying, "It's hard to make a game that is AAA that's like what we've done before with half the people. And by hard, I mean impossible. It's hard to make a game when there are entire departments that are gutted that you need and entire disciplines that are gone. So if they've got some kind of plan of how this is going to work, that hasn't been told. We don't know what that is. The reassurance is that we're still the same id and we're going to do all those things. Well, first of all, we're not the same id. We're half the same id. Id was the people. What made us special was the people and the relationships that we had. The reassurances that Hayes had mentioned at least partly refer to the messages that have emerged in those layoffs. It issued a statement to IGN saying that while the studio has been impacted, the restructuring left it at about the same size that they were making when they were making, Doom 2016. Chris Hayes continued on saying, studio management is given talking points on things that are allowed to be said and what is not allowed to be said. Which, again, that's a fucking crazy thing to say. Like,
yeah, like to say,
like I mean, I think he's like, I don't care, go ahead, fire me.
Yeah,
like this is kind of what it just read like he's going rogue.
He outside, yeah.
It feels like it is instead more reassurances. They don't want more people to jump ship and say, oh, there's no future in id, so we're all going to leave, and then there's no one left. They don't want unrest. At the end of the day, most of it was just trying to tell us, oh no, everything's fine, things will be okay. Hayes said that the reality is that id now houses less than the number of staff that works on Doom 2016. He noted that fans will certainly have their preferences in the series, but added, there is a lot more that went into each Doom game that went along. We made bigger and better games, but that's with twice as many people as we had. So we had fewer than we had before. So are we going to make something equivalent to a single player Xbox 360 game? Because that's the size of the studio that we have. Which I think he answered his own question.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hayes said he has no idea why the layoffs were spread out like they were. One topic the question did lead to, however, was Game Pass. He said, on the ground level, we don't get to know what that is. We can have guesses just like everyone else. I know that we have serious issues with how Game Pass is done. When we see the Microsoft financial reports that say there were, poor sales under Bethesda, what's a sale if you have Game Pass? Are you saying the poor sales mean poor numbers of games sold? Because of course, you're not doing a game sold business model. They fundamentally don't understand art. They don't understand art. They don't understand games. They don't understand that business model. End quote. Oh, sorry. There's more. I apologize. He's got a few more bars here.
Get the bars off.
He said that he would love to try to hit goals that are set for id, but those goals aren't evenly communicated. Instead, they are told just to make the best game we can. Under ZeniMax before the acquisition, that was also how it worked for attributing success. If we did well on a score for critical acclaim and we had decently solid sales, but they weren't meeting expectations, then that is a problem for marketing and sales. If you scored low, you just didn't make a good game. They tried better to find that. That is obviously not how Microsoft is operating. It doesn't make sense. Asked to elaborate on why Xbox and Microsoft don't understand art, Hayes said, if you cut a studio in half and don't take into account how it's actually made, you don't understand that the cohesion between our teams was what was actually important, what made us successful. And ironically, they did just ship Revelations, which people love, and say, like, you may have your critiques about Dark Ages, but its DLC is some of the best Doom that you can get.
Yeah.
So, Cog. Chris Hayes is outside.
He's outside.
Not afraid to say anything with his chest right now. He's like, go ahead, fire me with everyone else.
Yeah.
Yes, he survived the culling and did this.
Mm-hmm.
So with all this in mind, Cog, how are we feeling about what Mr. Hayes had to say?
I think there's a lot of truth to what he said. I can't dismiss a lot of this. I've even had issues as far as fundamentally, I think I've had this conversation with Colin one time. They're just people who fundamentally understand how to create games and the business of games is not easy. It's not. And I do empathize with, this is a man who's probably been there. He's put in a lot of years, has worked with his team, and he's now, majority of his team is gutted. And I think there's truth to what he said about reassurances as far as like putting on the good face. I will say this though. The only thing I worry for him is I believe what he is saying is literally in direct opposite of what Hugo recently came out and said.
Yep.
And this is now in the building going to create a problem. So on one hand, I respect the gangster. No one's going to ever tell you like, yo, this man is not speaking his truth. And he doesn't care about the repercussions that come with it. A lot of that comes with seniority and like, yo, y'all going to do what y'all going to do. So there's a part of me that respects the gangster for sure. Yeah. But understand when you do that, you have now put the crosshairs on yourself and you better be comfortable with the potential results. Because the potential results, not that there's going to be automatic retaliation, but you are literally going against the leader of the studio who tried to put out a unified front that, hey, we're the same since 2016. I know it sucks what happened, but we're fully equipped to produce, good games. So that's the only thing I worry about for him. But I can't dismiss what he said. So I can't sit there and just say like, yo, it's just sour apples and stuff. Because again, some of this stuff I've literally said like, bro, sometimes you got to get people in here that understand how to do this because, and then also when you don't have the same team size anymore. That was my number one question. When you got the number one question for this new regime is now when it's ramp up time for the new Doom.
Yeah.
How does that look, right? How does that work? These are the questions, man. So I think there's a fair criticism. I respect
100%.
I respect the gangster. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, we can make our own like parasocial assumptions. Like Hugo could be saying to Chris this whole time, like, yeah, these fucking guys, blah, 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 blah. And then like Chris is playing the hero. Or it could be like Hugo's trying to present, as you said, the unified front, and Chris is just like going a little rogue. I don't know. I find it just the interesting part is that this is not an ex-employee saying this is someone who's currently employed saying it, like he talked about how the morale was bad there. He really just said like, basically, fuck you guys for trying to bury us alive. And I do respect that. But yeah, definitely if it starts to create some additional divides, this reminds me a lot of Obsidian a little bit, where I'm just like, it's something I talk about my team with all the time. I'm just like, one person can just become like the whole studio.
Yeah.
Like it really like will define you for a while. And so this isn't that bad, but I'm just saying in general, like it reminds me shades of that. I think he answered his own question.
Yes.
Yeah. When he said like, what are we gonna make single player 360 style games? Yes. Like, I'm not saying that like, haha, in your face. I'm saying like, yeah, probably. Like, you went bigger, you spent more. And I don't think totally to their fault, but Doom the Dark Ages in the terms of sales, didn't do that well. Right. Again, we look at Game Pass, they were in the Game Pass model like many of these teams. Doom definitely has higher appeal though than like the other independent studios that have now been spun out. Like your Hellblades or South of Midnights and that sort of stuff. So I think there's a balanced argument to have on both sides with that. But yeah, dude, I think you're making smaller games now. I don't think you are making these massive things. And again, my theory has been, and it's just literally a theory, I could be dead fucking wrong about this, but it's just been that I think there is a reset broader coming, and that with more powerful technology, there's going to be an assessment of how many people you actually need in your studios.
Exactly.
And I've just always thought like the idea of like, we need all these people on the assembly line instead of one person manning the machine didn't make sense to me. Like an industry's constantly touting like more powerful tech, more powerful than ever. It's like, okay, then why do you need like 8 different people operating the same machine? And I get the structure of it. There's usually like a senior and then juniors, and like there's the amount of man hours that go into certain tasks and how you divvy it up. Like I get that part of the structure. But again, when you look at AAA, which is an experience I've never had, but you look at the hundreds of people that get employed there, I'm not advocating for their job loss, but it felt like this could be something that you and I have talked about on the show for years. And just said like when, Colin, for example, we had conversations like, how does Ubisoft employ so many fucking people? Like, are all these jobs truly necessary to their business? And I'm not saying that as like a pro corp guy. Like many people know where I stand, but like genuinely speaking, I have to look at that and be like, the industry does with as it gets more powerful, it's a system where you look at like an Expedition as a AA example, where you look indie, these games are difficult to make no matter what. Like Big Walk came out and it's doing really well, but Big Walk took years and years to make. Even for people to look at it, it's like, oh, it's just friend slop. But still, like the staff count required for some of these games is, and how well they're doing, significantly lowered, and that increases your profit margin. So, Xbox having the capability of these big level IP and smaller staff, I wonder if that was a conversation. I don't know. This is just me speculating based on what's there. But when he's like, what do you think we're gonna make 360 games? I'm like, yeah, probably. Because a lot of the industry, at least hardcore space, not core casual, I don't know what they're really thinking. But in the hardcore space, there's been a lot of conversation about the idea of like, we don't need to get bigger. We've hit the peak. I was just talking to a dev yesterday, and I was, we were getting into it a little bit, and he was like, I think we've just really hit this point with technology where it's kind of just petering out a little bit. Like there's no next level really. So it's just about doing more with what you have with like less people. And I think that's the next evolution. Not saying it's a great thing. I feel bad for people who are employed and kind of that looming storm, but I think it's resulting in people like looking at those experiences as the limitations are good for some games,
Yeah. No, I think you nailed it. That's where I was kind of thinking. And I think that, you know, that's part of what I figured this great Xbox reset is also encompassing, which is they're looking at headcounts, they're looking at cost, they're looking at efficiency. And if we're being fair, okay, we're looking at you spent all this money and this is how much that was sold for Doom, the Dark Ages, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So they basically, there's a part of me that says this cannot continue. This is how their thought process is, right? We've got to get leaner. We have to change this model. And I firmly believe that part of it is going to be like a ramp up and a mobilization phase where, okay, we don't have to have this huge head count of people, right? That's going to be at the studio. But when we're ready to ramp up, we may start to hire then a little bit more, not to the point where we used to have. And then also outsourcing. We talked about that before. There's going to be a lot of this code development we're seeing with Grounded 2, right? We're seeing with IDOS involved and stuff like that. So again, not the entire Obsidian, but you have that going on. And then the other thing is going to be, here's the number one question. That's in defense of the corporation. In defense of my man Hayes, right? The question that has to be answered with this shift, do you create good games? Do you see? That's the question the Asha Sharma era has to answer, and that's what I think is the fair argument. They have to prove that after they've stripped core people, generational knowledge, and headcount, can you produce it? And I think it's fair to say, prior to this point, Xbox has historically had an issue making art and quality art and some of the best games. That's been their Achilles heel. And that's what I want to know. I want to know, how do they get through that? That also falls on Matt Booty, right? He's going to be leading the charge, right? That's his studio. That's his headcount. I'm not coming for him. I'm just saying these are what people are going to say. So I understand his argument. I understand the corporate argument. Like, bro, we gave y'all wild bread and all the resources with the past regime, and we not happy with this. So we gonna strip this down, right? So now we got to see how this gonna play out.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. That's the one thing I'm skeptical about with the reset is like, is this going to result in actually great games? Like, I imagine it's good for their bottom line, and there's some level of bloat that's there where you're like, okay, like there maybe had to be some trimming of the fat, and especially in a lot of their middle management, sure. But will this result in better games? They're moving really quick. That's the reason I'm very skeptical. Is like, you're moving very fast, and I'm glad things are happening and things are changing. And as a fan, there's some parts of it that change that maybe not necessarily layoffs, but like things with Fallout or things with achievements, just those little, like the console updates, the communication, like those types of changes have been great to see. So it feels good. But like, until we start getting these Asha Sharma greenlit projects, it's going to be really hard to evaluate if she truly made a good call or not. So we'll see, but definitely if it pans out well, that's a huge conversation point to have.
Yeah, if she pulls this off, there will be a conversation to be had. Sure. Yeah.
Peter Moore?
That's the trajectory right now. If she pulls it off. But the problem is, that's a huge overtake. And you got to launch a console in Rampocalypse. So she got a work cut out for her. She's got way more obstacles than Peter had. Peter had a dominant PlayStation, but he had a year head start. He cultivated a tremendous lineup. He was super aggressive. The parallels with her right now, though, is the aggression and the competitor brand. Like, she's on some challenger brand energy, and I haven't seen that since Peter. So that's why she got the streets. I know a lot of my friends behind the scenes like, yo, she's overpromised. But I will say, she got the streets, so to speak, as far as the grassroots are like, yes, this is what we want. We see what you're doing, and we want a competitive Xbox, because if you look at the scape, right, and not to make it about PlayStation, but people are upset. People are upset, and they say, hey, here's the avenue, here's the lane. Are you going to take advantage of it? And it's something I had, I said, shout out to the Duke, Ryan McCaffrey. This is a question he asked me. He's like, yo, do you think this is one of the worst generations, and what do you think as far as the opportunity that could be had there? And I said, yeah, there's opportunity. You've got to do a bunch of there's no one singular act that's going to do it, right? But if you capitalize it, if you pay attention, do your homework. That's what Peter Moore did. He paid attention. He did his homework. He studied, and he took advantage of every mistake and everything and made sure Xbox facilitated that in a big way to make people want to come to the platform. So that's going to be the challenge of Asha in this new regime.
What do you think? What did you guys get into physical games?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What did the OG Dukes think about what move Xbox should make on that front? Did he say?
Yeah, he's big on the capitalization part as far as obviously we talked to this to digital, that physical has to have its place. And in terms of, I think the happy medium was kind of like, obviously we talked about the external drive potentially, right? And bringing that as an option to Helix, but he also wanted like as far as he kind of had your thought process, which was kind of like not destroy limited run, but have your own for Xbox Game Studio family. His thing was they should have, whether it be we pay the $10 collectors a tier for that disc version. So this way you gauge the interest. And so you guys are right in the same pocket. You know what I mean? Kind of. I was like, oh, this is Maddie talking. I was like, the Duke. I was like, you guys are the same. You know what I'm saying? We got to get y'all together, by the way.
My brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. The only time Ryan and I actually talked, now that I think about it, glad you mentioned that. The only time we talked was when he had that like limited hour window and he hopped on.
Yes, and he hopped on. Yeah, early Duke. Yeah, we got to get that going. But yeah, I got to send to Ali. We got to get you on lock too. That's over.
I mean,
that's way over there. I saw the comment. They was like, Cog is cheating.
No.
I was laughing. No. They were so protective of you. It was so funny.
No. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous, dude. No.
He's like, Cog, you out here cheating? I see you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We allow. We're in a what is the relationship?
Was it open?
Polygamous or
polygamous?
Like yeah. Like I allow Cog to sleep around. He's good.
Appreciate it. We live in that poly life right now.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Cog can snuggle up to Ryan, who's suspiciously like we kind of have similar facial features in some ways too. So
he's like your
Cog
older
like
OG
type, man. What can I say?
I'll gravitate towards. That's all I can do, man. When you put the glasses on, it's over. You know how I get. But, all jokes aside, it is eerie to see the thought processes are very, very similar. And he's definitely on that bag. So again, it's up to Asha. How hard is she going to go with it? And the only thing that it leads me to believe that she will do something is we did hear the rumblings to the very last minute. They were trying to pull Fable and Halo off. I'm like, yo. Yeah, so we'll see.
I wonder. I feel like they like based on the leak from The Verge this month. Like, I'm wondering if they do something at Gamescom or something. I don't know. Like, I'm wondering. Like, they have to make. I feel like this whole disc to digital thing is being accelerated, and I wonder if that's going to be a planting of the flag. Because at first I was like, when I saw the idea leak, I was like, okay, like I was thinking new games, but as I think about it more with like the usage of the old games, like Xbox has the chance to be like the one platform where I can take any game off my shelf and put it into one system and like all those generations work. And that's fucking insane. And I would kill for that.
Yes.
Like I was like, dude, that like, and I mean anything because of this new back compat emulator thing they're doing. I was like, oh, Helix like goes up a tier for at least people like me. Cause I'm like, dude, I'm looking at all these random games that I could never dream of being put in back compat. And I'm like, oh, but now it seems like with a flip of this switch, it can be now. And if there's one system where all those libraries can be accessed from OG all the way to like that would be special.
I was telling you before, like I could see the Xbox if they were able to pull it off. I could see the Xbox Wire post where you have we believe in generations, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Series X console, this family of consoles, and then you can again do your disc to digital. You can put you have the external disc. You could market it. But the thing is, the issue is the execution, the time, the technical lift. How much does that entail? What can they do? And then the other thing is they got to stick with it. You can't do a half-hearted effort. You have to really dig in. And I'm curious if she would have time. I guess my only curiosity is how locked in are they contractually to the hardware, the technical setup, right?
Yeah.
Where they can play around with that. That's the key. And that's probably a great wizard question. That's a Jason Ronald question. He would know that, and I'm very curious if those two have been talking. I would assume they have been.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah. If I had to guess, she's on the phone with the wizard, like, yo, what can we do? What can we really do before Helix launch to really make us the preservation champions? And we get people to assure them that everything comes over. And if they pull that off, that would be a very attractive thing when your competitor is being very mask off and disrespectful to the physical bros, right? So yeah, this is the time to capitalize.
I agree. I think, because a lot of people have gone against the idea of it, because I've read people say, like, well, it's not going to like win them a generation. I'm like, that's not the point. Like, that's like, there's literally so many things they need to do right. And like, this is part of making the ecosystem better, which is something they need to do. They're getting console updates, but no one gives a fuck, right? Because at the end of the day, they're just updates for the core user, though. Back compat will be huge for the core user. Maybe a declaration of some type of game preservation, core user feature. But really what's going to matter is obviously the delivery of games. But that doesn't, even if they're delivering great games, if their ecosystem sucks, like, you're still not going to want to come over. So that's the point. So this won't change everything, but the difference between 2025 Xbox and 2026 Xbox, at least right now, is they've got people willing to talk positively about them.
Exactly.
And that is, I know right now we're a little used to it. It's been about 7 months of mostly good stuff. But let's be real, bro. Going into this year, I felt like I was kicking the shit out of them every week.
Bro,
every week I was like, oh, here's it. Another thing. Phil, what's going on? Sarah, what's going on?
Here's the rake. Here's what's going on. I again, it was, especially with the flagship titles going, I knew it was good. I told people, I said, bro, when you wake up and you see Gears,
getting non-flashbacks, bro.
remember, I told people, remember those episodes?
I got flashbacks.
I said, you're gonna know what it felt to be me, and you're gonna see it. And I'm like, bro, it's gonna hit you. You're not ready yet. And then they saw it, and then obviously what we talk about, especially now we see the result of what has happened. We're getting some results, bro. People are like, I'm telling you, the apathy, the disgust. It is not just fanboys. It's just, again, this is part of your soul. This is who you are, right? And that changes things. So I think now that's what I try to tell people. That's what the Asha Sharma, from a perception, from a PR, from a core sensibility, that's what she's captivated in this short amount of time, which is impressive. But now it's the execution. Can you capitalize on the mistakes, and can you implement it in time? Is going to be, the key for them.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Well said. So I wanted to build off of this story we talked about a couple weeks ago about Xbox's grand server outage, because speaking of physical games, actually, this was quite concerning, right? We were just like, oh, well, there goes all, like, discs weren't working because of this server outage. I was like, I just can't play games on this thing. So obviously deeply concerning. We talked about the update and what happened there, and that they said, we're going to provide more information. We're sorry it happened. And so now we've got an update from Xbox's CTO, who I really need. This is the second time he's come up. I need to learn how to pronounce the last part of his last name. It's Scott Van. It's Vliet. And I feel it reads like Vle.
Yeah, right. That's what I think. It feels like a French.
Like, what a crazy combination of letters there. But nonetheless, Scott writes, wanted to provide an update on the incident affecting some players trying to launch games and access other game libraries last week. He said, what was the root cause? As I previously wrote, an underlying service required for Xbox home console sharing and Game Pass purchase content, as well as some PC scenarios, experienced an outage whereby an update to the system put some services in an unresponsive state. This was compounded by a bug in the Xbox client software stack, which caused other license checks to also fail when that first service went down. These two issues created some cascading failure scenarios that affected some players' ability to launch games and causing cascading issues with library enumeration. So what have we done about it? They said, we are transitioning ownership of the underlying license services to the Xbox team, while our engineers are actively hardening the services and infrastructure for future updates. The client bug has been fixed in an upcoming release, which starts rolling out today, August 10th, as he wrote this, and becomes mandatory August 17th. So what comes next? He says, our engineering and operations teams are looking broadly across our stack to improve reliability of our products and services. We will have more updates to share in the weeks and months ahead as we roll out some great new features for players paired with quality of life systems updates. Thanks for playing. And there you have it. Nice little update there. So any additional thoughts on this, Cog, with a little bit of clarity on the situation?
Yeah, love the clarity, love the transparency, love the the part where the key sentence, the transitioning of ownership of the underlying licensing service to the Xbox team, because that was the issue. People are like, why do you have this service that is dependent that you don't necessarily control, that's outside of the stack, so to speak?
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. I will say, as an IT former IT guy, this is giving me PTSD because I know when one service depends and it fails, and depending on others and it fails, and then I also know about pause server hardening. And it's easy, but it's tedious sometimes. I'm assuming now from my day, they probably got all this stuff automated, and maybe AI is probably doing it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's important. You've got to harden servers. You got to harden services, because basically what the terminology means is just so that, from a security standpoint, that they are thorough, that they have the latest protocols and things of that nature. So super dope. The IT in me is very happy, is very pleased, very concise, and I know stakeholders are happy because they don't want to hear about this ever again. Xbox Live going down, people not accessing games. Yeah, let's make sure we have ownership of this service that has all these dependencies.
I agree.
Super
I
dope.
agree. Better late than never, I guess.
Exactly.
All right. So for this topic, I'm thinking a little bit for people who have played Smash Bros before, right? There's you can play as Donkey Kong, and if you press neutral special, he just kind of winds up his fist and he stores a big Donkey Kong punch, right? And his arm kind of blinks a little bit. And then there's just a point where like you just unload. And when you punch them in the face, they just fly off the stage, and like that's it, right? So I feel like we're still doing the arm circling until whenever this reset happens for this company, because we've got sales estimates from none other than Reese Elliott, who's of Alinea Analytics, and we have more interesting, I think, splits to talk about when it comes to Halo Campaign Evolved. So I'm going to read the post by Reese, and we're going to dive into it again. Halo Campaign Evolved has sold 1.2 million copies, generating $67 million in revenue, according to Alinea Analytic estimates. That's split roughly, between 42% on Xbox, console, and PC, with Game Pass upsells we reported last week now removed, 41% on PlayStation, and 17% on Steam. Like most, though no longer all, Xbox first-party games, Halo launched straight into Game Pass, and about 2.1 million players jumped in via their subscription across console and PC, with a little under 600K forking out the extra $20 for the premium pass to play up to 5 days early. It cannibalized sales. Needless to say, that's a soft performance for a ground-up remake of one of the most iconic console shooters, nay, one of the most iconic shooters, full stop. So why the tepid numbers? He says Steam is easily the easiest part to explain. Halo the Master Chief Collection, a compilation of the core Halo games with multiplayer included, is on Steam for $40, cheaper than Campaign Evolved's $50 for just the campaign plus a few bonus missions and some visual polish. MCC has regularly dipped to $10 in the past, though not for almost 4 months now. No doubt a deliberate move to prop up Campaign Evolved's pretty slim value proposition, and it didn't work. Our Steam review sentiment analysis lands on these 3 points. 1, the price is too high for a port like this one, and the Halo brand, candidly, has lost a lot of cachet. I loved Infinite, for the record, and feel that a bit of revisionist history is going on regarding how rad it is. 2, the value proposition is too low, with no competitive multiplayer and the bonus missions being unpolished. And 3, a lot of Steam users already own MCC at 8.5 million copies sold on Steam as per our estimates, which offers more content for less. Campaign Evolved sold about 544K copies on PlayStation for $32 million, a touch under the Xbox console and Windows figure, minus the deluxe edition upsells we reported last week, despite PS5's larger install base. The high price was likely a factor, but the bigger truth is that the Xbox faithful were simply far more primed for this than PlayStation owners were. That said, plenty of PS5 players jumped in for a novelty and nostalgia hit. It makes sense, as plenty of Xbox 360 owners in the West defected to PS4 after the botched Xbox One launch. There's a cohort of PlayStation players, roughly 32 to 40 years old, who grew up on Halo and never forgot it. And you can see them clearly in the PlayStation audience overlap. That is, the shared numbers of unique players between Campaign Evolved and other games. The top 10 skews heavily to that late PS2, Xbox 360, and early PS4 era, where he mentioned a 7.1% overlap for Gears of War Reloaded, a 5.2% overlap for Doom The Dark Ages, a 4.3% overlap for Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, and the list goes on from there, but I will not read it all out. So yeah, shooters, remakes, and legacy-leaning titles galore. This landed with an older, nostalgia-driven crowd rather than pulling in fresh PlayStation audiences. As many have pointed out, a Master Chief Collection release on PS5 multiplayer and all would certainly have done far better than this campaign-only remake did. At the very least, if the rumored Halo 2 remake ships with online multiplayer, it'll sell a great deal more, assuming it comes to PlayStation at all. Thank you, Reese, for your great analysis, as always. Shout out to Alinea Analytics as well. They do wonderful work there. Am I just a hater for thinking that I don't think the multiplayer in this remake would really make a huge difference? Like, I just think the quality wasn't there. Or I think the MCC defeats the purpose of this game and the money being spent at all. Like, it just feels like a strange overlap where why don't I just go play the original, which is very affordable and very accessible. Am I being a hater by thinking that? Because that's the only disagreement I personally have.
I don't think you'd be a hater. I disagree, but I don't think you'd be a hater. I feel like it's an older multiplayer for sure, right? But I do think the older multiplayer would have helped a little, you know what I'm saying? But I think I agree with Reese's first point. I just think that the price point combined with no multiplayer, combined with Master Chief Collection's existence, is just something that wasn't PlayStation people and a lot of people just didn't see enough value for. Then on top of that, coupled with, what you just said, which is, the quality of the port or the changes or things, a lot of people didn't feel it were substantial, coupled with the fact that we just got to just call the elephant in the room. It's just like, under this particular studio, the brand has just gone through a lot of damage. It's just tremendous damage. It's just, it has lost its luster. It doesn't hold that weight anymore because they haven't had, in my opinion, a significant positive, I will push back on Reese a little bit with the Halo Infinite people. Halo Infinite did extremely well out the gate. The problem was the content, right? But again, all the stains, all the missteps, we've been through this before. The no forge, the no co-op, we know what the story is, right? So it's all of these things. And yeah, to your point, it probably wouldn't have saved it. I'm not saying the multiplayer would have saved this. That's what the multiplayer, for sure. No, I'm not saying that. But it's just one of those things that it's a death by 1,000 cuts, bro. It's so many things. And now people, they're just apathetic. And he also made a good point about the overlap for people who went over. When he said the sentence about nostalgia hit, all I was thinking about is Colin. It's like a novelty item. We've got your captain tied up. We tried to, we've got him, y'all. We got him. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Like the spoils of war and they capture the leader. Like, that's all this is. We've captured your guy. We have him. But only those who are old enough to understand the significance of it really understood the magnitude. And then the new generation that they don't really care because Halo's not been anything for any substantial amount of time for people to care about. That's the problem. And that's the sad part, right? Because we know how much, this IP means and what it's supposed to be. So again, I've said ad nauseam how I feel about that studio. I'm not going to go there. But what I will say is, again, I am dying to know, to be in the meeting room when the numbers come back with the super soft, what was it, 1.2? What was it? 2 point?
1.2.
1.2. When the super soft 1.2 and they slid 1.2 on Ash's desk. I want to see how with that fat, whatever that
kid, like an office camera zoom, like you see the paper literally slide in and there's the camera zooms in on Asha's face and she just looks up and just all of a sudden you see all these employees just leaving the building.
I just want to see that. I want to be in the room for that. I want to be in the room for that conversation. I want to be because usually the release post-mortem. That's what I want, that document. Show me that doc where they broke down the splits and it's on her desk and she's like, okay. And now I want to know what's the action because you said this is a tentpole, right? Yeah. This is so I'm here for this part. I'm here. I love this part right here because all Xbox fans are going to say, and I'm going to quote the great King David, we told you so. We told you brand damage because people hated it. Xbox fans hated it. They was like, they don't understand. And this is where you got the little bit of the fool's gold because of the Forza, right? Mm-hmm. They saw that and corporate greed was like, all our joints is fire. Wait till we hit him with that hate. Wait till we hit him with that Gears. And it ain't work. And now people hate it. So yeah, this is the time. So yeah, we gonna see.
Yeah, we were almost in that pocket. We came very close, but we were kind of talking albums. We were saying like your album might not be nice, but it might sound pretty good somewhere else. We thought with Forza and Sea of Thieves there might be something there, but clearly not. And definitely with something like Halo, you got to be more protective. But I mean, dude, 1.2, it's over. If they get out of this, and by the way, when I say they, I'm talking more about leadership. I feel bad because I think the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to get rid of the staff that is just doing their job. And frankly, save the game from being even worse from what we can tell based on inside reports.
Preach.
That's the real shame of it all, is that they'll go first. But this studio needs to, again, I talked about like the bucket and just emptying it out. Like, I know their plan, like they should be as part of like where Xbox is marching, investing in Halo, but I just think you can't. I don't think you can right now. Like I think you pause those plans because you don't have a team that can do it. I mean, you technically do, but they're doing a fucking awful job. And they're not selling copies. Like, let's be real, dude. 1.2 million. Big Walk just passed 1 million copies sold. And I mean that with all due respect, by the way, the Big Walk. But I'm saying, like, bro, Friend Slap's beating Halo? The fuck is going on? Like, look what they've done over 10 plus years. Friend Slap is beating one of the most iconic shooters of all time. What the fuck? And you think they're going to carry with this license more? They can't. Don't get me started, man. Like they can't. They can't. There's so many. I don't even see the day I'd be like, they beat us. And by the way, I've heard amazing things about Big Walk. Locke was texting me about it. I want to play it. I'm going to play it. So I'm not disrespecting. I'm just saying though, like there's a certain icon. It's Halo. And now, you know what we got to say? It's Big Walk.
Yo.
Like that, I'm saying, like in a positive way. Like the way we talk about Chief, it's time to talk about the Walk that way.
Not like this, man.
What?
You can't. What? We throw a Big Walk out there. Yo, this Big Walk.
It's Big Walk, bro. This goofy Fred saw. They're walking all over the whoops, bro.
Oh man!
Come on, man!
Wow, we have fallen. We were kings. We were once kings.
We enjoyed such a nice reign. And it's got to shake up. At the very least, it's got to shake up. And I think if you were to ask me, I mean, at least for hardcore players, right, which there are tens and tens of millions of us, by the way, enough to sell more than 1.2 million copies, that I promise you, Xbox, if you switch devs or you cleaned house, like the rebrand was an attempt at the soft switching devs, like if they don't know, but like people are smart. They know. If you legitimately switched and like put it in someone's hands and like built up the courage over like 5 years and like delivered, this is, I promise you, like it'll do well. It would. Halo's still got that dog in him, I believe.
I believe so too.
That's like it's just with this motley crew, I think it's over.
Yeah, I mean, look, they tried New Year, New Me. They didn't work.
That's a good way of describing. That's a great way of describing it. New year, new me.
You know how dudes they do their resolution. They go into the gym this year, started the year, got the new fit on. That's
A1 selfies. Yeah,
you just put a new shirt on. That's all you did. So it's just like, and we sat there. We're like, okay, we want to see, right? So now we've seen, and again, I know I'm joking, and I want to be respectful to so many people who really worked hard, like you said, right, to try to get this game to respectability, to do the best possible thing they can do. But we've got our answers now, right? And again, it's time. And again, it's gonna be a very sobering moment to see what happened. But I only think I push back. I said, I am, as a person who loves this franchise with all my heart, I do like that she said it's a tempo, but for you to make it a tempo, now I get to judge what you're going to do. What are you going to do? Because like Maddie said, people don't have any faith in this current crew, right? So now you got to make the tough call. What do you do? What do you do, Matt Booty? What do you do? I should I don't envy you. This is one of the most difficult things. And like
I don't think it's that hard. That's the thing.
I agree.
I know what to do.
I know it in theory, right?
Yeah.
There's in theory, I'm with you. In actuality, it's just engine experience. Who do you go, to your point, do you go away, spin off, build comp? Like, what's the triage, right? Or do you, like you said, some people just want cut the whole.
You could frame it under the reset, literally be like part of resetting Xbox is resetting I could hear it.
All right, let me hear it.
Resetting Xbox is resetting what makes us that, or
Mm.
resetting our core franchises like Halo. And we are starting from the ground up with Halo.
Yeah.
Like we want to build it into something that you truly can be authentic. I mean, this is me kicking the shit out now.
No,
like
but you're right.
You could be excited about. Like
you got to go.
You could funnel it under that, and at least with the hardcore, we'll know what you're saying. But it'll read a little bit more like, we understand, and like part of getting Xbox right is getting Halo right. Like Phil said so long ago.
That would be a ball if she did that.
Yeah,
I'm saying that would be a ball.
She'll write it much better than me, but like you get the idea.
No, absolutely. You gotta face it head on. You can't run from it anymore because they've been running from it, and now we have it. So yeah, I shout out to Reed, shout out to Linear Analytics. They've been in ballpark for the most part most of the time, and this is not a good look. This is horrible. This is super soft.
Yeah.
And financials and stakeholders care about that bread. This is terrible for that name, for that franchise. No way.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with Halo. Let's move into more multi-platform camp here. Grand Theft Auto 6. Let's talk about it, man. Getting a gameplay reveal finally. As rumored, August is the month you're finally going to lay eyes in full on, at least you hope, on Grand Theft Auto 6. This is taking place on Netflix. Thursday, August 27th, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time. This is happening 6 hours before it goes live on YouTube at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern on August 27th, or 2 a.m. UK on August 28th. Now, Cog, we have this right in here from Jay Reed, who says, "Greetings, Dukes. I'm seeing a lot of anger pointed toward Rockstar and Netflix GTA situation. I think some people need perspective. While annoying, certainly, waiting 6 hours isn't the end of the world. We need to focus our collective outrage on the right things, like how Maddie hasn't played Gothic. It's been months." Jay Reed, I respect your dedication, dude. I texted Locke and I said I'm going to shoot him when I see him. Because he made some joke about sending people to me to like tell me to constantly play Gothic. And there's like 5, I promise you, it's literally 5 people, but they just do it every week.
Yes.
And Jay Reed's one of them. And you're starting to drive me fucking insane, dude. Shut the fuck up. Now, Cog. GTA 6. Netflix.
Yes.
Are we overreacting?
Let's go. This is not, this is the hottest thing in the streets.
Yeah.
This is very hot. This is very hot. So I want to tread carefully because I already have enough accusations about me already. So I don't think I'm gonna.
Cog loves this move.
Oh, you already know they gonna come. They gonna like, of course, Cog gonna love this. He gonna defend this, of course. And I get it. So let me just say this. Yes, this is a precedent. I have not seen this before, right? But it's a precedent in a different way because obviously the trailer's not exclusive, like it's not going to go to YouTube. But going to Netflix is a big deal. And this is what I think of, right? I get people that like, you do this, what's next? I think that it's fair. I totally understand. People are like, what is this exclusive demo? Or what? Like, you are now playing around with gaming. And I understand that. The only counter I have to people who feel that way is, one, take yourself out of the hardcore bubble for a second. Just for a second. We are gamers. We don't like nobody messing with nothing. Don't touch nothing. No, I get it. But think about Netflix. People who do not care about gaming. They're here for their movie, their TV show, comedy special, boxing, that's all they're there for. They are going to turn on their Netflix and they're going to get a pop on GTA 6 reveal. What the hell is this? Is this a new show? Right? And they're going to be, I think someone told me they have 350 million. Don't quote me. I don't know what their subscriber count is right now.
Yeah, I think
but
50 plus 300, something like that. Something crazy.
Something crazy. So let's just theoretic. 300 million people are going to turn on and see Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer on their Netflix that they just normally log in just to watch a movie. All right, let me see what the hell this is. Oh, wow. That looks kind of cool. Maybe I'm interested. That's the play. Here's the thing, y'all, the people are missing. Not only did GTA get a tremendous bag for this, right? Think about this. For 6 hours. What was the bag for 6 hours? Then it'll still gonna go to YouTube. But what it shows me is Netflix is like, they're trying to corner the market. They sat there and said, that's the number one game. We want to have some association with that. And this, I don't know. To me, this is I will say this, for the people who are worried, this is the beginning of a play. There's a play being rolled out for sure. I don't know what the play is. Is the play
Fully no, yeah.
Yeah. Netflix games, game streaming. Is the play, like, what is the play long term? Strauss, here's the thing. Strauss Zelnick did not take a bag from play. He omitted PlayStation from this. Think about it. He's got a marketing bag and he omitted them for this, that Netflix gets this exclusively. He didn't give it to the Xbox show. He didn't give it to the PlayStation show. Bro, he didn't give it to Keighley. Think about this.
Yeah.
Keighley is it. If you want to talk about the biggest game, I've seen companies who don't necessarily like Keighley say, all right, give our, because we know what the exposure is going to be. So this is bigger than game. My final point, I'll say is this. I know, again, for the people who hate it, I get it. But what I'm saying is this, and this is just me speaking pure honestly from the standpoint of we coming out of Rampocalypse. Consoles are $900, whatever the hell they are, right? This is, I don't want to say this is the last hurrah for console gaming, but we are under serious threat. Serious. This is the first time where Gen Z is like, yeah, whatever, I don't care about that. But I'm free to play over here. I'm mobile over here. I'm doing whatever I'm doing over here. I don't care about this $700 box you talking about, and I'm not paying for it. And the fact that this is not PC, this is console only. This is the last hurrah to get you to buy a console. So what I'm saying is like, final comparison. You know how much I love the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
This is my baby. I remember waking up, Sunday games, 1 o'clock. Then over the years, Maddie, tuned into Amazon to watch. Over the year, tuned in on Thursday Night Football to watch.
Yeah.
Tuned in on Peacock to watch. And it annoyed the hell out of me. I ain't gonna hold you. It annoyed the hell out of me. But what I saw is football is getting bigger. It is huge. Now, more people, more marks. I think that's what this is the last one. So I know the corporate cog acquisitions will not escape me on this. I get it. Throw your slings, your arrows. I think it's a net positive. But with a precedent that, yes, other things can happen. Here's the last joke. There are going to be people who, I'm just going to make up, Stars going to be like, yo, we looking at random game number 2. We going to give them a Stars exclusive trailer. And you're not going to hit like this, baby. You're not. There's going to be a lot of paper champions that's going to get bags as a result of this, and they're going to accept them. And that's where the people are going to decide. I just think GTA is just one of those generational titles that only they can command this kind of thing. And we'll see. We'll see if it works, and that's it. But I've rambled on enough.
Yeah.
Where is Maddie with this?
Yeah. No, I mean, your side is extremely well argued. I think, you talk about what the NFL resonated with me, where there's truth to what you say. Like, I don't think there's any denying it at all. I fall in the camp of it's not the end of the world for me. I also fall in the camp that I think Take-Two might hate Jeff Keighley just a little bit, like it just I mean, dropping that Gamescom week,
bro.
Yeah, like everyone was talking about how, quote, classless Team Cherry was when they just suddenly dropped Hollow Knight. I don't see that same talk happening right now as everyone gets ready to show new trailers. And after you get your load off, they're like, yeah, and thank you guys for doing all you had to do. We're showing up 2 days later on a Thursday. I don't know, man. That's pretty crazy. I think that's borderline hilarious. With that in mind, I'm worried about the copycats. You're totally right that GTA commands a certain level of attention. And there are very few games that can pull this off, I think. But there is something to what you said about hitting the more casual market and companies finding real value in that. An Elder Scrolls 6, a Cyberpunk 2. Cyberpunk sold 40 plus million copies. There are certain games, there's more, I think, than people realize can try this. And they can basically say to themselves, we're going to get a massive bag for this. and we'll put this out later because as this becomes more common, it's exactly what Jay Reed just said, which is like, oh, it's 6 hours. And then it turns into 8 hours. And it turns into 12. And then 24. And then 3 days. Just like early access gaming did. Pre-order now, get it a day early. Pre-order now, get it 3 days early. And guess what Xbox does now? A whole fucking week. You know? Like, it's a game of inches, baby. And I think people need to be keenly aware of that. That this is there is a conversation to be had about GTA, the video game, which I'm going to talk about with Rockstar. And there is a talk to be had about GTA 6, their publisher, Take-Two, and every conceivable shitty door they've kicked down with this game. And these two things are true at once. People don't want to have that conversation, but these can be true at once. I'm interested in seeing this gameplay preview. I also think everything that Take-Two's done thus far has been pretty fucking shitty. That's my 2 cents on it. This is, for a lot of people, a one-time Super Bowl kind of event. No, it's not, dude. Stop kidding yourselves, dude. Because the thing is that we're talking about the industry that companies have kidded themselves into thinking they can, by emulating, be Rockstar, by taking as long as they did on games, by spending even half as much as they did on games, by these things. Like, if we spend as long and we have this many people and that costs this much, we'll make something just like GTA. No, you won't. No, you won't. Just like you won't get the same marketability. And a lot of people then turn to the idea of like, well, the consumer speaks. And like, the point is that now we're going to start getting franchises that could have done well getting buried behind marketing deals. So there, again, COG's argument is excellent. And I think there is a net positive that is totally right. But I also think that as the imitators come in, there are some who could put up a fight. Like, you're telling me Elder Scrolls 6 couldn't pull some type of people in? Now, would it be GTA level event? Maybe not quite that high, but dude, we got the whole fucking world talking. No, that's extreme. Sorry. The whole industry talking about 8 asterisks from Asha Sharma's tweet. There's a level to certain games, you know? And if Bethesda starts to mount some positive sentiment like Rockstar has, you know, I'm just thinking about those types of games. Yeah. So I don't think it's the true end of the world because it's not in this current moment. But it's as COG perfect term, precedent being set. And with that, combined with, $80 games, but then Strauss like being like, actually, more people are buying the $100 version. And then on top of that, code inbox. And on top of that, as we'll talk about with the next topic, more people streaming the games in 3 years' time. And it's just like all these fucking awful things, dude. I think I left one out and I'm forgetting too. You know, it's just like, I get it. Like the thing is I asked people to join me in La La Land for a moment here. Join me in this idea. Strauss Zelnick's saying there, he's like, GTA 6 will be $70 flat. We believe in this value for our industry, and it will also come with a physical copy that includes a map of the game. We believe that physical media is really important to our industry. Even though we're a mostly digital business, there's something important about our developers holding the work that they created. What the fuck are we doing then? You can get this trailer just on YouTube, whatever day and time they gave us. Can you imagine a world where they just decided to be the gatekeepers of just some decent fucking things? And how we would not be like, well, no, that's why PlayStation's doing anything, bail them out. That's why Xbox is doing that, bail them out. And it's like, oh man, dude, like there's a conversation to be about GTA 6, which I have no doubt will be a sick fucking game. Probably unlike anything we've seen in a lot of ways. If all the time and money they spent on it should amount to something. Well, also talk about its publisher just fucking sucking ass, dude. You know, like that's where I'm at on it. I'm not losing my head over it because I'm like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? People are so sold on this thing. Like they're already saying pre-order numbers are crazy. So they're just having fun over at Take-Two. They're like, fuck it. Because dude, they didn't show you shit. The thing that people need to process, right? You saw the pre-order thing that they said that Jason Schreier, right? He was just like, it's just so astonishing. They can't talk to their investors about it because they don't know if there's going to be like more, or if this is just everyone who was going to buy it at launch buying it now, or if there's just more. So this thing's easily like probably 50 fucking million copies sold by now without showing you shit. So it's over, dude. Like, there's no, like, I'm not fucking like rallying. It's okay. Like, you guys want to fuck the industry? Have at it. Like, okay, like, what am I gonna do? Like, everyone's already bought the game. They've already made a ton of money off of it, and they're like, oh, you want to get 6 hours of this? Yeah.
Bro.
So I get it. Like, I'm not a hater of it. I get it. It's just like, I think there is at least a conversation for those who cared to be had about the precedents that are set.
No, facts. Just to add on, because you made fantastic points. I love the point you said about, you haven't seen it's true though. Like, if you really think about it, like, this is the greatest blue balls I've ever seen. Like, they have not shown really anything. This is the epitome of supermodel. I know I'm hot and I know you're weak and you gonna do it. That's what it is, bro. I know y'all simps. Y'all could talk. We got the data. You pay for her all the time. It's just wild. And to your point, common sense would be like, yo, let's wait. You haven't done, show, like, we're not. But here's the sad reality. And I use this example of the ILP. And I remember when, I think it was Xbox One, or no, Series consoles. Series consoles came out. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, Maddie, I iced my whole living room. I had the top of the line Dolby Digital DTS 5.1 system, and all at that time, right? Surround sound king. I had it going through the highest level through an digital optical out. That's what we used to connect. And series consoles came out. So I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at the new series. I'm about to cop. And at the back, I'm like, you out, bro. Like, so I made some calls. I'm like, is there gonna be an adapter? Is there? God, we got the data. 5% of y'all. I'm like, you 5%?
Just,
bro, I just spent my whole life savings icing out my living room. Everything's wired, ready to go for the series. And they were like, God, ain't nobody doing that. And in that moment, I felt what physical bros felt. I was like, yo, I'm just irrelevant now. Like, it was the most painful and disrespectful thing I've ever seen. So what I'm trying to say is, one is the data, right? They have the data. I'm not saying this right, and not to continue doing, but they have the data to justify the decisions they're doing. What the sad thing with the GTA thing is that they've got the data. You've already pre-ordered. You've already given your soul. You've already, and that's the thing. And that's the harsh reality that gamers got to learn. Like, not that we're the vocal minority and we should not fight. We should definitely fight for option. I'm not saying not to fight. But what I'm trying to say is, they don't believe you. That's the thing. Like, they like, okay. See, like, you see the way Sony's talking to the investors? It's just it's the tone now. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. Like, man, you see the mask off in the change. Yeah. And with GTA, you use the perfect example. We have yet to really, besides the leaks, we've yet to really see this thing doing anything in a controller for this level of. Yeah, that's a bit crazy. And the last thing I'll say, the funniest thing, well, I will give gamers, I'm gonna give y'all some empathy. And I'm not wishing this to happen. The funniest thing would be if this is a broken or messed up game. I will admit, y'all will have the best clapback if it is broken or social.
There's so many people praying on the game's downfall, but I feel like after all this time, it won't be like that.
This is Rockstar. We know what they do, right? So I'm not going to.
I'd be legitimately surprised if this did come out like broken or busted.
I'm just saying it would be funny, just for entertainment purposes only. Not that I'm wishing bad things on it. That's the only timeline that I think it would be hilarious. But yeah, I mean, look, this is Rockstar. This is what they do. This is how they do it. They've earned that reputation. And like I said, this is supermodel energy. I know it. I could command this once in a lifetime kind of thing. And I was shocked Netflix did this. I'll be honest. 6 hours. Do you know what that bag had to be for Rockstar?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a burst of subscribers they're predicting that's going to be otherworldly. Yeah. A ton of people are going to get like nice 1 month subscriptions in, and they're probably thinking that'll trickle off over time. But even if like half of those people stay in the following month, like, they're gonna get a lot of new subs.
How many subs, and then how many of those subs from that audience also translate into now new Grand Theft Auto, new gamers that now pick up and learn about this game. So what's the synergy there? They're going to have the metrics and the data, and then we'll see the copycats. We'll see. Yeah, I get it. The precedent is set. It's no doubt.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what this game is going to do though. It just feels like the pressure is on it to deliver something truly next level. And this is all about the single player version. Like Trier just said, like they're not talking about GTA Online anytime soon. And so like all the pressure is on this game to just not be pretty GTA 5.
Correct.
And I'm just so interested what it's going to do because it's so funny to see how GTA Online has continued to be a beast, but GTA 5 has had a little bit of revisionist history that I don't really agree with, by the way. But a lot of people have been like, "Oh, it's actually the story's fucking ass," and I'm like, I don't know, man. I kind of had a good time with 5, but like,
Mm.
um, like I wonder what they're doing writing wise, storytelling wise, gameplay wise. Because what's so interesting is Red Dead Redemption 2. I love that game, like many. The shooting in the game is very simple. Like it's snap to aim, and it's really the cinematography of the shooting and like the detail in which like you'll blow a specific chunk of someone's head off depending on where you hit them. And it's not like most games where head pops, which always work fine for me. It's like, oh, you hit them like right temple, and that piece of their head is gone.
Mm.
And then the way they ragged all down the stairs, like that's what made Red Dead 2 so fun to play. Is I'm like, oh, this feels scary real,
Real,
you
bro.
know?
Hell yeah.
But I don't know if that's enough after all this time. If you just have a scary real feeling Grand Theft Auto
Right.
shooter, like what is? I mean, it's a game that's grounded in some form of realism to a certain extent, where it's like, what's the gimmick? What's the
True.
thing? Like, what's the differentiator?
Yeah.
I always think about like their internet stuff that they've got, like in GTA 4 and 5, and maybe it's got to be something with that. But I'm just so curious what there is here. Like, what's the thing? Like,
Yeah. What's there?
if it's this Bonnie Clyde thing, so it's going back to kind of like heists a little bit, like
Mhm.
5 did. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
There's a level of like blindness with it. I just like truly, truly don't know.
Yeah. I think me and you share, we're not like these hardcore GTA dudes. I'm
No,
here for
definitely
the
not.
event. I just want to know what it is. Like why like yeah.
Living it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. And the last thing I'll say is that the last challenge they'll have when it comes to the multiplayer is, in order to defeat the champions, the Sinister Six, you generally have that platform. But what's interesting is they're going to be jumping to a new platform, technically. Remember, they're going to move from GTA 5 multiplayer to a new multiplayer host. Do you get those same
Mm,
attachment to come over? Do you grow? Do you get bigger? That's going to be interesting to see. And I mean, if anybody could do it, it's them for sure. But it is like, for example, we've had examples where it didn't go good, right? Where it's like of Overwatch
yeah.
to Overwatch 2, or you know what I'm saying? Like we've had
I did
those
too. Took a while to
a
really.
while.
It didn't really even get super going compared to GTA Online. So that
Correct.
Rockstar can. Their version of failure is so fucking laughable. Like it's really not, but like they can have softer
Right.
things despite the love for their games for
Right.
sure.
So these are the questions that we're going to learn. They have to hit these targets.
Well, maybe there's one way to get people in, and that's let's keep talking GTA here. Streaming. Streaming within 3 years. How does that sound, Cog? This is one
Yeah.
comment that stood out to me in an investor-focused Q&A that CEO Strauss Zelnick did. He admitted that the rising cost of hardware is not a good thing because cheaper hardware obviously means like, we get the hardware to people and more copies of their games sell. And especially with something like GTA coming out, a hardware shortage is not good because this could be great for our industry to have more people playing and buying video games. Um, he says, with the advent of streaming, which we really do believe is around the corner in terms of having something with slow latency and really works well for consumers, machines that weren't game machines before will become game machines. So, without regard to what happens in the console business, which is a consensus to us, of course, we see the overall install base as a practical matter growing materially. And if you believe in streaming, and to be clear, we really do, and I'm happy to put a timeline on it, I think we'll be in commercial streaming mode within 3 years. And by commercial, I mean low latency. That can 10 times the effective install base. He says, now it doesn't mean we're going to make 10 times our revenue, and we wouldn't project that we would. But because obviously your avid consumers already have access to video game machines, I do think it creates great opportunity for titles that are broadly desirable, even outside of core markets. And we do have titles like that, obviously. In a follow up interview with IGN, they asked Zelnick about his 3 year prediction, whether he felt the streaming would be able to run GTA 6 as well as consoles in the terms of fidelity and responsiveness within that time frame. He said, I think for streaming to matter, it would have to do that. But I was speculating about the time frame and technology by definition because if it were in existence now, it wouldn't be 3 years away. and I could really be wrong, but it's my best guess. But sure, I don't think it'll be relevant to us if you can't support titles like GTA, end quote. Okay. How do we feel about that? Feel about that? Little reel it in, maybe? Just a little bit there?
Bring it back. Bring it back. Because they on you now. Because look, when he made the first time statement, and he said 3 years with his whole chest out, I'm like,
he's like, I'm happy to put a timeline on it. And the thing is like he admits the idea. I don't mean to like cherry pick all these parts of a sentence, but like when he says like, like I'm happy with a timeline on it. And he says, like you need a game like GTA to be able to do that for like streaming to matter. It's like, okay, if you're happy to put a timeline on it and you think GTA matters for it, then you probably know GTA is going to work on this thing. Right. So like,
that's where I was at. I was,
like, what are we diffusing exactly? I don't think he's trying to be clear, but like
the first initial statement I read, what does he know that we don't know? Because if you was jumping out the window to put a timeline, that's like, okay, are you privy to some technological breakthrough that's about to happen? I'm like, well, I just got Starlink on my plane. I was out, bro. Have you experienced Starlink on a plane yet?
I have not. Can you tell me about this? Because I was, it's so funny. I'm so bad at traveling with content creation. Are you going to use this for your content, or is this just phones? Like, I don't know.
This for everything, bro.
Okay. Fill me in. We're going to go off topic. I need you to fill me in real time because I was talking to Laylee. I was like, I just realized we booked a hotel and I didn't check the internet. And it's too late, I think, to really move around. So I'm like, hey, Cog, you might be my hero right now.
Bro.
Because I literally got worried. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I got a lot of content to do out there. Why didn't I think of this? We were budgeted so hard. I wasn't even thinking
about it. Who you flying with? If you know it.
Delta. No. Sorry. We're flying internationally. I don't fucking know, actually.
Whatever. So here's the thing. All I can vouch for is United. I have like so many miles with United. It's my part of my default. They like run, EWR, which is my default, international airport next to me. So I was flying to like Virginia Beach, right? It wasn't even that crazy, but they were like, your flight is equipped with Starlink. Okay, let me check it out. Let me test this joint out. Bro. Full bandwidth. I'm sitting there. I'm on Xbox Live in the air. I'm like, what is going on? I'm downloading games. I'm like,
what are we feeling here? Like,
it was like a little 20 gig test, but it passed.
20 gigs in the air is fucking crazy,
like, bro. This sorcery of Starlink, I am not gonna hold you. Not a fan of everything else. Of certain people.
I apologize to the audience. I don't know shit, clearly. As I'm asking about this thing, I don't know about the company either. Please fill me in.
Bro, Starlink, I believe, that's Elon's baby.
Oh,
yeah, I believe it's Elon's baby. I'm just saying it. I'm just trying to, put it out there for people who are pro or con. I'm just letting you know. As far as the tech, I can vouch. Bro, it is amazing. It is no going back. Like, I don't even want to do a flight without this. like it was that impressive. So the reason why I brought it up is because I'm listening to Strauss, and when he made the initial step, like, what does he know? What breakthrough has happened that he feels that latency is going to get to that point? And that's why, and I still think he knows something. Even though he did do the retract, and now he's like, somebody's like, yo, bro, you put the timeline on it, you give us pressure. Hey, we like someone show you the prototype or something. I mean, people go, we gonna have this in 3 years. Like, in my mind, that's how I envisioned why he was so excited. So yeah, that's what it is. Now, as far as look, we know the rules. Me and you.
Just one thing on Starlink, I gotta know. Like, you keep getting your hotel. Like, I'm asking Boomer.
No, this was plane specific. This is plane specific. Now, to your point, I don't know if the infrastructure goes outside of that. That is something new to me.
That was my question. I was like, what is this sorcery?
Yeah.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy with my internet, which is why I've never looked into this at all.
Yeah. No.
I thought you just had the answer offhand. We can say
no. I don't know that because I am completely unfamiliar with it, other than in a plane setting. But my Starlink lords,
so I might be cooked then. All right. So
you might be. You might be. So yeah. So but it's satellite, so you would assume. I'm assuming right now.
We'll look into it.
Yeah, we'll look into it. Professional podcasting. But I would assume that it like, just like DirecTV, if you have the correct equipment, I am going to assume you would have it. But these planes are now equipped with it, which was very impressive. And I'm like, man, United, I already liked you already. It's gonna be hard for me to cheat on you every now and then, unless it's a super cheap flight, like I'm going to PAX West. But yeah, it was impressive, brother. And I really think, that is the future. I'm not saying that particular tech, but just that level of bandwidth is the future. So with streaming, yeah, you got to get to that point where there's no latency. And that's what gamers have been resistant. People have been like, bro, we have not seen that. We still feel it feels different from the native experience, and we will never stream. That's why streaming has always hit that road. It's always hit that bottleneck where people are just like, unless you're in a market where consoles are completely not viable, right? Then this is something to entertain. But for us, where we have consoles and the native experience, we just not looking at it. But if somehow technology did make that jump, we did get that leap, remember when we went to, from 3G to 5G, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like, ooh, okay, there we go. Like if there's another leap, and then that's the way to go. So that's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I was very impressed with my experience on the plane.
I'm very interested in this Starlink thing. I got to look at this.
Yeah, do some research, bro.
I'm on a router. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know.
No doubt. But yeah, that's what I got with Strauss.
Yeah. When it comes to the whole streaming aspect, it just reads like he knows something. But streaming our games in 3 years. This is the only thing I'll say to people is like everyone who went, oh, it stops at digital. It's like, this is what I've been trying to tell y'all. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like there's still like this one last step, which is just like no applications. Just fire it up like you do any movie. But shout out to the movies. People are showing up to the theaters.
Nice.
Love that. All right, let's talk Ghost of Yotei. They announced a complete edition over on the PlayStation blog. They being Sucker Punch Productions. They're doing a new combat survival mode, a new narrative expansion, and much more. The name of the expansion is Echoes of Sekigahara. They say it's a new narrative expansion split between present day and flashbacks to Atsu's time on the mainland. You'll meet Nagato, a figure from Atsu's past who has arrived in Etzo. In the present, you'll explore a previously unseen valley once inhabited by the Snake and his gang of loyal followers, the Vipers. In the past, you'll experience Atsu's time in the Battle of Sekigahara and a key moment in her life before she returned home for a quest for vengeance. You'll meet new enemies and find new heavy weapons, armor sets, dyes, and more. As for the new single-player mode, it's called Ghost of Yotei Most Wanted. It's a brand new combat survival mode, our spin on a roguelike. You'll accept bounties in order to start new runs, where taking down enemies will earn you perks, as well as unlock additional characters to play as. We'll have much more to show soon, but as you can see in the trailer today, Atsu is a master with dual katana, while Oyuki excels with the Kusarigama and Nagato shines with the Yari. And so, Kog, with all of this, are you in or are you out?
No, I'm definitely in. Wow,
this is October 1st, by the way.
Damn, that's Sakai. Oh, I'm gonna look crazy. Limited time purchase. Okay. No, I was gonna say, all right, this is a
sorry, we have a write-in.
Let's get the
doing some professional podcast in the last 5 minutes, everyone. Bear with me here.
Good.
Tom Sweetie writes, hello, Duke. Sorry for the late write-in, but this is breaking news. Cog, your goat is back. Ghost of Yotei is getting an expansion and a new roguelike mode for only $15. Do you have any thoughts? Are you planning to return to the life of the Ghost? And Maddie, will you play Sucker Punch's most recent game now that it's complete or pass because of Sony/Too Many Games? Have a great day, gents. Tom, thank you for writing in. Cog, please continue.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, this is a half-eaten sandwich I have to get done because I've been putting it off for long. But I have an excuse. I've been waiting. Sony, when are we getting this handheld? When are we getting? And then y'all stopped the PC porting. So now I can't ally like how I did with Tsushima. That's how I was able to knock a lot of stuff out. So that's what I want. I'm like, damn. So I got to get back to Yotei. Usually when I'm at home, it's always content for the Xbox, content for PC that I got to do, which makes the PlayStation stuff go to the back burner. But I got to get it done. No, this looks dope. I am not going to hold you. I like what I'm seeing. I like the armor, and I like the fact that homegirls used the Kusarigama. So I'm all about that. And yeah, just a reason to get back into it. Absolutely. I mean, Ghost is definitely one of those games for sure. So what about you? Now that it's a complete edition, sir?
No, not now. Yeah, not anytime soon. It just like
timing is tough though.
Yeah, timing's not good.
Yeah.
Very excited for fans of the series. I really liked Ghost of Tsushima. if I'm thinking about like old PlayStation games that I've missed that I want to get back to, this is probably top of the list for me. I really love Sucker Punch games, so like it's the one I feel nasty about missing. Where the others, like as I've talked about before, I'm pretty comfortable skipping out on. So this is one I do want to get to. I don't know when I will, but knowing that it's complete now, I thought they were done with it. So I was pleasantly surprised by this.
Same.
After they kind of shut down the whole multiplayer thing,
Yeah,
they
the
were like,
Legends.
we'll move on to the next game. I was like, okay, probably no other DLC, but to have this, nice surprise. Good price tag too. Good announcement.
Yes.
All right. What I am here for, though, are Lord of the Rings remasters. How about it, Cog? So Aspire shadow dropped Lord of the Rings War in the North. I'll talk about that in a little bit for the what we're playing section. But they did say in their press release that fans can look forward to even more classic releases by Aspire from the beloved franchise in the future. Now, to dive a little bit, I'm going to take everyone to Lord of the Rings school, okay? Okay, here we go.
Let's go. Break it down.
Here in my hand for the this is a visual special only. Sorry, you have to go to the YouTube version to watch this, or you can get the audio version 6 hours later.
Yes.
So you have WB Games who published War in the North. So they teamed up with WB Games for this. However, while people do like War in the North, although we had like one really aggressive write-in about this game that was like, how the fuck did this happen? I should have write it for fun. Yeah. Most people are like, oh, cool. This is by Snowblind Studios, and they made games like Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, Justice League Heroes, Champions Return to Arms, Champions of Norath, like those awesome ARPGs. I played all of these. I grew up on them. This was their last game, unfortunately, but it was great. I liked it. But that was WB. Now, there was a whole other era of Lord of the Rings games. Just like Activision had their grubby mitts all over the Marvel license, and we have all these Marvel games that are no longer available. EA is in a similar ball game here, right? So EA published everything from the turn-based RPG, The Third Age, to Lord of the Rings Conquest, which for those of you who have played Pandemic Studios, Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, you'll know that they made a Lord of the Rings clone for that called Lord of the Rings Conquest, which is excellent. This game slaps dick, dude. And then there is Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2. This is an RTS game, strangely also published by EA. And then there are the movie tie-in games. So things like Two Towers, Return of the King. So there is a whole era of Lord of the Rings games that they could bring back. My question is how willing EA is to play ball with all of that, because they don't like to see others play with their toys. And that this is more likely going to be like a port of Shadow of Mordor. I think. Like Shadow of Mordor to Switch 2.
Got it.
Shadow of War to Switch 2. But I really want it to be the EA stuff, dude, because those were the games. All those games I just held up, barring Middle-earth, Battle for Middle-earth 2. I didn't play that much as a kid at all. But Conquest, dude, if they brought that back, holy shit. I mean, I would lose my fucking mind. Like, I thought it was impossible that they could even bring back the classic collection for Battlefront. But when you see like, oh, it's still under Lucasfilms, which is under Disney, like that made sense. But this is a lot more complicated when it comes to like EA. So my hopes is that they figure something out there, because that is why people are excited. Like War in the North, I can't imagine out of the bin of Lord of the Rings games, like this was Aspire's first choice. So like, we have to do War in the North first. Like Third Age makes a lot of sense. Conquest makes a lot of sense. Any of the movie games make a lot of sense. But I do have some hope. That's thanks to our good friend at Atari, Jason Polanski.
Oh, JP.
Because Atari dared to do the impossible.
Talk to me.
They dared to do a movie collection unlike any. The Toy Story Retro Roundup.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah, they figured something out there. There's some black magic going on in our industry, and Atari is at the center of it. Toy Story 3 getting a remaster. I mean, it's not even just a re-release. They're remastering it. God bless them, man. What a perfectly special company to be able to do something so magnificent like that, to remaster one of the greatest games ever made. That's just special shit, man. We don't get that every day. But not only that, you're daring to do the retro roundup and bring in not only Toy Story 1 and 2, you're throwing in some other old Toy Story games, and you got the audacity to throw in a Bug's Life.
Oh.
So it's a whole, so something's going on here. Okay. And I know again that kind of falls under the Disney camps and they're more playing. I'm going to choose to believe, right? Because some impossible things are happening around me. No one, if you told me last week War in the North's coming back, I would have laughed. But then I got an email from Aspire. I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. Shit, this is back. All right. I'm in. So I'm going to choose to believe that they're going to go the light side route and not the dark side route, which is just ports of some old WB stuff. Maybe they'll bring back. I forgot to bring this up. I think this was WB. It had to be WB. I was gonna say Lego Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that'd be a good one. I'd be down for that. Lego the Hobbit. I'm sure that would be another one. So throw those in the mix as well. But Cog, I'm positively stoked about this.
Nice.
Do you have any thoughts on this? I don't know. Do you have any attachment to Lord of the Rings?
I love Lord of the Rings. You know what's funny? I've never played a Lord of the Rings game on any level.
There were so many good ones. Yeah.
It was so funny. Like, I don't know how I missed out on that, and I actually like Lord of the Rings. I mean, it doesn't count because technically, Shadow of Mordor, that counts. Right?
Yeah,
but I don't know why I act like that's different.
Because it doesn't have Lord of the Rings in the title, but I get what you're saying, right? Like you're talking about like proper license, like all the things I held up here were like all licensed to video games.
Yeah, like I feel those are official, whereas like Shadow of Mordor is kind of like the spin-off kind of thing, which I loved in the Nemesis system. It's always going to be goated.
So good.
Goated. That was to me, that was a gameplay inflection point. Yeah. And I thought that was going to be the jump off of something for gaming, and then when we found out, it's copyright. Yeah, the patented and no one else can do it. And I'm like, okay, I got it. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. But no, this sounds dope. And Lord of the Rings fans, y'all eating, so let's go. I'm super happy to hear about that.
Right on. All right, this next one here is Atlus talking about Persona remakes, and their producer at Atlus's P Studio, Kazuhisa Wada, said he can't say for sure if Persona 1 and 2 remakes are coming, but he said they are games that he thinks we have to do. That is the official quote. So he said, I definitely think we should. I think it's something we have to do. And this excites me greatly because Persona 3, 4, and 5 are like, all launch points for the series. The beauty of them is you can get into them wherever you want. But 1 and 2 are very different games. And I think you could speak to them with more expertise than I, for sure, because I remember playing when this is a throwback here. Remember the PlayStation Classic? Remember when they did that and they had like a really, everyone was looking at like the Nintendo Classics like, oh man, like PlayStation Classic's gonna hit, but they were missing like such key games from that library. But one of the games they had there was Persona 1. But the PS1 version of Persona 1 is very different from what I had played before that, which was the PSP version, which I think is better. Not finished these versions, by the way, but all of those are completely different from what you got in 3 and on. Like that's where the series went into social sim stuff. It went into more turn-based combat, flashiness. It completely redefined itself. But before that, it was more like tactical RPGs that were really hardcore and where Pokemon got a lot of its original ideas from too. It was the originator of a ton of things in our industry that other games get more credit for. So I would love to see them remake this because it would be challenging. It'd be very particularly challenging because it's like, okay, are you going to mold these? I would imagine if you're going to call it Persona and what it is nowadays, you would mold these games more into what Persona 3 and on is today. And that would be really cool to see. The games like Persona 2 have a ton of characters on the field. So I'd be really interested to see how they handle that. But I'm curious, Cog, as someone who has the deep callback here with Persona 1, Persona 2, what does this make you think? What does this make you feel? I mean, these are darker games too, for sure.
I remember the box art was so dark. Like I forgot what drew me to it. It's so funny. I am literally an OG Persona guy, and I forget it. Like, because I feel like it's so drastically different and evolved into something else that, like, but yeah, I can claim this. Like, I was there from the very big, bro. It was one of the most difficult dungeon crawling RPGs. Grid-based combat, super challenging. It was long. I remember that's another thing I remember. That game was long as hell. But I stuck with it because it was, this kind of the student theme on the smaller level, like the school theme on a smaller level, but dark. The atmosphere, everything was just very dark, evil, people dying, tone. I'm like, the tone of this game when I was playing, I was like, this felt a little unnerving. like this felt a little dark for young Cog to be playing this, but I did like it. I finished it. And yeah, I would love to see them revisit this. Now, the key is, do you maintain that spiritual essence of it? Or, because in your defense, Maddie, y'all hotter when it went y'all route, right? I'm not gonna lie. Fair, yeah. It's fair. Like I can fully admit that even though something I love transformed into something else, what it transformed into is the critically acclaimed thing. It almost in a way how Fallout 1 and 2 are to
Yes.
3, 4, 5. It's literally the same, right? So now, do you upset the Persona purists, like, you know, the old curmudgeons like me? Or do you say, what, you know what? Let's give them the Persona 3, 4, 5 treatment, right? Do you do that? That's a personal decision. I like that he's talking about doing it, though, because at least with them, you know what I'm saying? They're discussing these things publicly, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we always wanted, you know, Xbox to do as far as the Fallout, which it seems like they are starting to do it, you know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. And Exile, I'm watching you. And Exile, I'm watching you. You ain't slick.
Over there, yeah.
Yeah, you ain't slick. There's a reason why they kept you, buddy. No disrespect. We love Clockwork, but they saw something else you got. And I wonder what that is. I wonder what that is that you did in your past that they care so much about to keep you around. But anyway, like I said, you know, I'm very curious about this. So I got in my head, yes, but I'd like to see the old joint. But I go front. It would be super ambitious if they did what you want. And I would check it out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, your Fallout parallel is really on point because I mean, that's the same difficult decision there. It's like, oh, remaking isometric would probably be a little, I think, easier design wise for those older Fallout games. Whereas like putting those big maps and how many maps exist in that game all in an on foot map, like, and with the highwayman and stuff, like there's just so many complications that go into all of that. Especially though, the complication here is like the origins of the series and what 1 and 2 were versus the fact that people will see Persona 1 remake and be like, oh, I will play that first. And like what exactly that means moving forward for them as a franchise. It's like you pick up 1 and it is so vastly different from anything you've seen, but you get the do you follow the series trajectory as true as possible? Because that would be correct, but also be confusing as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
If I were a betting man, I'd say they're just going to go that, you know, what they did with 3 Reload, 4 Revival. I think they're just going to do that over here. But it would be interesting because there weren't things like, again, time spending, things that are old now are new here. So like the social sim stuff could be here. You could get to know these characters more. They could define them way more. It's more like a new project than anything, which is exciting. So I don't know what they're gonna do, man, but I'm excited to see.
I like that he's talking about it. That's a big deal.
I do too. I like that he's kind of hesitantly like, we're gonna have to do it. I think, like, you know, everyone's wondering where's 1 and 2 because you can't remake 5. 5 can never be remade. So it's like 3 and 4, the job's done.
Yep,
basically. Yep. So here we go. On to the next. All right, last little bit of news here, and then we'll get into what we're playing. Hog Leg 2, it's confirmed. I mean, we all expected this, but still, why not talk about it a little bit? Confirmed in a recent earnings report, a second installment is on the way for Hogwarts Legacy. Now, there were no other details announced beyond that, but they said that WB said that titles like Hogwarts Legacy 2 will meaningfully contribute to its future revenue. And that's basically all we got. But it's real, and we all expected this. We knew this thanks to leaks. They canceled that expansion that they were originally going to do for Hogwarts Legacy 1. See, it doesn't sound right. Hog Leg 1. That sounds so much better. They canceled that though when they were going to sell more content. And so my guess is like at this point, you know, like that second game is going to be fucking huge, and I can't wait to see what they add into it. Honestly, like I know I'm not like the biggest Harry Potter fan. But like, I'm very curious what Hog Leg 2 brings to the table, because there were some things that were missing, like Quidditch, that I feel like they could throw in here, and more enemy variety. My friend was just playing it. I was like watching him, and he was talking about his kind of experience with it. And he was like, yeah, more enemy variety would be good. So I'm relaying that one. I'm hoping to see that based on like what I see with the combat. Just a lot of good stuff though that was at its fundamental level. And this is like I forgot. I think this team was doing like mobile games before this, so their transition is like kind of scary, underrated when you think about it. Like everyone's talking about, oh, it's a great Harry Potter game, and I'm like looking into Portkey Games. It's like crazy to see where they started and where they're at now. So very interested in what Hog Leg 2 is going to be. No doubt people will try to make it controversial, but looking forward to it. Cog, your thoughts on a confirmed Hog Leg 2?
It's about time. It's about time. I know they were flirting with other things, but I'll never forget the impact that game made. And again, as a person. I remember graphically how impressed I was. I remember when I first saw the reveal of it. I was like, wow, they're going all out. And then to hear the history from the developer, where they came from to make that. And then obviously what it just showed me, this IP, bro, the power of this IP. And then also the European power. That's also because look, I know it's big over here, but that's home. You know what I'm saying? I just think of my British friends and stuff like that. And I remember the marketing on buses and like it destroyed Europe in terms of just 40, I think it was a 40 million. And it was like, did it beat Call of Duty that year? Like,
Yeah.
bro, it was a single
Insane.
player game.
Yeah.
That's what, so controversy aside, you can't take away. That's the only thing I got. I was mad that the studio got stuffered, obviously, you know what I'm saying, from clearly there was a concerted effort, you know what I'm saying, to remove it. And that's unfortunate, you know, because of one person. But yeah, man, can't take away from the impact. So yeah, let's see what they do. Long overdue. And yeah, this is all bet all black, all chips to the front. This is it. That's what you gotta do now.
All right. Cog, let's get into what games we are playing this week. I got a lot of oldies. You got a lot of new stuff. Let's hear from you first, as always.
So this one is interesting because, as y'all know, in the realm of the Dukes, I am a Madden slanderer. I have been a Madden slanderer for a long time. For full context, I'm similar to Maddie in the sense that how Maddie used to play Call of Duty religiously. And like I was that guy every year. Madden, custom team franchise with the boys, doing my updates, doing my depth chart, my rosters. That's what I did. So Madden 27 comes around, and it's funny because they know I don't like, like they know I've stopped. I am a lapsed player. So I was like, all right, let me see what's going on. You know, let's take a look. And again, I'm not thinking too much of it. I just got to be real with y'all. The first thing I noticed off top, removing past gen. Good Lord. There's a difference. It is a difference. So the first thing is, I will say they have learned everything from what made college football an amazing experience. Now, I'm talking about pure atmosphere. I'm talking about when you go to, again, I'm only going to speak from a 49 perspective. My 49er fans, y'all know what I'm about to say. There is something to be said when the games start, and if you're a fan of said team, you know every little nuance, every little idiosyncrasy, every little thing. So the thing is, if you're 49ers, you know that horn, you know when they ring that bell, you know when the fandom comes out, you know when our little minor mascot comes out. Again, it is the little thing. So this is them taking all the nuances of atmosphere from college football, because let's be honest, college has the greatest atmosphere. I will never take that. I've been to a college football game, and I'm an NFL fan. That's my baby. But there ain't nothing to beat the college football experience when you are there. That is the greatest thing. The whole city gets involved. So I will say it's them taking that aspect of it, bringing this to Madden. Second thing, right off the bat, from a technical standpoint, I was playing, they have a quality mode, a performance mode. I was playing on quality at first, 4K 60. I thought the game looked amazing as it is. Maddie. I put that joint on performance on OLED on 1440p with 120 hertz. This is lifelike. This is the best looking Madden. It reminds me of when I saw, and again, it could be I have been lapsed, I have been removed. Hardcore Madden fans that keep playing every year, I will defer to you. I'm just talking about from my experience. This reminds me when I saw Madden for PS2 for the first time. And I was like, God damn. I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm talking.
I remember seeing 04. That was the one that really, with Mike Vick on the cover. That was the one that got me. Yeah.
The faces, the towels, the mouth guard. Don't even get me started about the weather. The dynamic weather as it goes on, the rain can pick up, the wind can pick up, the snow accumulate, dudes are slipping. It's not. Here's the thing. My favorite position in football is the cornerback.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's my favorite position. Because to me, quarterback, if you can play corner
or corner.
Okay,
that's why I was like,
the Deion Sanders, the Charles Woodsons, the Darrell Reeves. Because here's the thing: you're on an island. If you get burned,
Yeah, you cooked.
You're facing the top wide receiver every play. Your job is to shadow the. Do you know how hard it is to chase someone around, to mimic them, to stop them from getting the ball? And these guys are elite.
The way that penalties are called, like, yeah.
You just touch these guys, you impede the route. Bro, when you look at one of my favorite things in football is the wide receiver. Because I used to play. The corner and the wide receiver interaction, the jostling, the hand fighting, the getting low in the state, the watching the break. Bro, the animations and the simulation aspect that they have put in that dynamic now, huge deal. Now we get what day we got. I didn't even get to let me finish with the grab. The stadiums. Bro, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't even know. What's the Rams? The Rams now play at SoFi Stadium. I played a game against the Rams. Bro, the lighting, the stadium decks. I'm seeing the shadows of the scaffolding of the stadium reflect down onto the grass where you can see the shadows accurately of the. I'm like, damn, this is that. like this is that. So let's get to the game. All right. They got this new thing now where they like touch passing or whatever. It's gimmicky to me. I ain't doing that. Like what I like about Madden now is you just, hey, simulation based, classic style. I ain't doing all
the show.
Yeah, I'm not catching in the green. Make sure you hit I'm not doing all old school based on simulation and player ratings is how COG prefers to play. You gave me the
how it should be.
Yeah. Yes. So all that so for those who love that, God bless, I will never do that. I will be playing it this way. Same thing with the kicking meter, same thing with all that stuff. I am playing it that way. But I will say, like, okay, we got that. This is when I knew the game was like really real. Like as far as like one of my biggest issues in the past, offensive line and defensive line interaction, especially offensive line. If they run a sweep, I run a sweep with McCaffrey, and the offensive line has nothing to do. Go out and seek work. If you see a defender, go out and seek work. You see the offensive line, go over and look for a corner and pancake him to try to set up the block. I'm like, there we go. You know what I'm saying? So again, gameplay, dope. I saw a quarterback sneak. Brock Purdy jumped over. It's the animation of getting over the line and all the scrummaging and the hand fight. Then the game was funny, man. What I like after every play, you see dudes get up and dudes be pushing and shoving. Like, it's almost like stop touching me, bro. Like, you see like the interactions and the jostling. And I'm like, oh, I like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's football. It's like, it's just this intimidation and foolishness and ish talking. And I was like, yes, okay. So we got that. Now, there is some bad. I'm not going to say it's all perfect. But what I will say is, I was coming in here like, okay, it's bad and whatever. The good, I would say to the good, that's going to lead it to the bad. The last good is for those who are overwhelmed, right? You haven't played football in a while, you haven't watched football in a while. Stick with coach's suggestion. Just stick with coach's suggestion. You got your coach, your head coach over there. So it'll be Kyle Shanahan for me, telling me, yo, this is what I think. And it's actually probability based. They'd be like 67% based on the situation, the formation you're in, what they're doing. This is what I think you can run. Then when the play now gets onto the field, he still be talking. He'd be like, yo, they do this. I think we should flip the play this way. Hold X. And then like real-time dynamic play calling. Fire. I was like, ooh, I'm just down to one, but I'm like, let me see what the coach suggestions say. Because again, I've been out the game. I don't remember all the playbooks. I don't remember everything in the I form and the single back. I don't remember any of that stuff. So I was like, okay, I like that. Now let's get to the bad. The bad was, I was in the first half of a game. I'm up, I don't know, maybe 14 something on whoever I was playing. And it was 4th down and 21.
Uh-oh.
Kyle Shanahan talk about go for it with 7 minutes left in the half. No, Kyle Shanahan should not be going for it. I should kick the 35-yard field goal and kick my points. So I was like,
man, not good play calling.
Yeah, this AI right here. I got you. You were good, but I got you. The other thing is on defense, when they do the play calling, I don't feel I should be saying Kyle Shanahan. I should be saying your man, Raheem Morris. We have Raheem Morris as a defense coordinator. So
that fucking guy.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, say this. He's back.
He gives a mean locker room speech. If they showed that in the game, that would be the most accurate simulation of all time, bro.
You'll be happy to see he's in the booth doing the defensive calls from up top.
And that's what he's good at.
Yeah, that's what he's good at. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams as a DC.
Yeah.
So my thing, but what I would say in game, I shouldn't be seeing Kyle Shanahan's face when I'm doing the defensive play calling for coach suggestion. That should be a defensive coordinator there. And I don't know if they have the license. I don't know. It just looks weird. That's just me. And that's it. And I would just say, just little minor things. But overall, that's what I got to say. I forgot.
Uh-oh.
This is a flag on the field for this part. Y'all know how I feel about NFL 2K5. The GOAT. The greatest football game. You know what I'm saying, of all time. Why is it, Maddie, that with how amazing this game is, as beautiful as the replays are, is amazing. Bro, they got 3 commentary teams. They got Mike Tirico in this one. They got this one. They got Sunday. They got all the presentation in the world. Why, when it comes to the halftime show and there's no quarter by quarter, there's no what happened in the half really systematically that led to that point. And then the other thing is at the end of the game, it's just flat. It's just like game ended. Where's 2K had this from back in the day, Chris Berman with the highlights and all. That's my thing. So yeah, it's non-existent. That's my problem. So look, overall, I will say this. This is the best Madden I have played in years. I will say it is the best looking Madden and it's the best playing Madden. This is a huge jump. And I think it has to do with them dropping past generation. And that's why we're getting what we're getting. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not going to hold you. I know this is not the popular thing to say, but it was good. It was really good. I will give that. And then next thing I was playing obviously is the Gears beta. Obviously was, rocking that. And look, I'm having a time. I actually had to stop. I'm doing too much, but I do like the improvements. They are taking the feedback, and I'm gonna get we're gonna get a buff to the hammer burst in mid range. They said they're gonna do that. They're taking the feedback for certain stuff. Yeah. So look, it's a fantastic game. I'm trying not to play too much because obviously we're getting close, same kind of thing. So I had to calm myself down.
That's why I skipped out. I was like, I'm gonna wait. I had a great time. I'm gonna wait.
It's fantastic. I do need to stop because it's too much. And then also I got to get back to, for those asking, I got to get back to Dispatch because there's just a lot going on. But those are the games I've been playing right now. So yeah, just pretty simple. But I will get, like I said, people who are curious, it is safe to try Madden this year is what I was going to say. It is actually safe.
Okay, nice. I'm glad Madden shit the bed.
You funny.
I mean, dude, I feel like I see every year people are like, look at the crowd, bro, or like look at the glitches, bro. Like I think a lot of bugs have like crept into their game. So
I can only comment from my experience. I didn't experience.
Is this like an MW3 moment for you? Are you like hopping in at the end of the line, or are you?
No. I'm there. I was there early. I was there.
Oh, I know you were there early. I'm talking about modern Madden, like
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
no, you're right. No, I haven't been in a while. No, facts. Yeah, no, I have not.
I'm really curious to see the opinion.
Bro, I looked at some of the reviews because I was like, let me see what the temperature is.
Yourself. Yeah.
Let me see. Is it just because, bro, you a lapsed player? You might be just impressed by anything. You know what I'm saying? So, exactly. And I've been there. And no, the results are mostly positive. I'm not seeing people like, this is the best man in years. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not bugging because I'm like, so, yeah. Good. Again, we'll see when the smoke settles how it goes out with all that play. But where you at, man? Enough of that.
I'm in my old game bag.
Okay.
I've been continuing playing Metal Gear Solid 4, which I know some people are like, it's a movie, but I feel like there's a lot more gameplay here than it gets credit for. For those who want to know, I'm on the middle of the 4th act. And I'll just say, as someone who got really invested in MGS lore and story last year, oh man, there's like some shit that happens in this game. I'm like, especially in the 4th act, I'm like, wow, dude, this is fucking awesome. I really am happy I played this series in my adulthood because a lot of like the themes and the cool factor and stuff comes from kind of like comparing it to the real world, which I think you have to be knowledgeable about. So it really is just such a special series, man. It is real. Like this game, I love it. I mean, dude, when you're like crawling through these open war zones and they're completely fucking dynamic and there's like different sides attacking each other and you're kind of like like you're just crawling through the swamp and trying to like navigate these open firing areas. unbelievable for its time, I think. But just firing up the PS3 and playing this most nights has been a really good time. I think the story has been enjoyable. There's like one change they made. I'll just say it was a Metal Gear Solid 2 thing, specifically with its ending.
Okay.
And I love MGS2, but they made one like kind of, actually, and I went, Kojima, what was that? What are we doing, man? Like, why? You didn't have to do that, especially with how many others there are. Why'd you do that? I didn't like that call. My man let me down a little bit there, but not derailing by any means. Just like, okay, that's a critique that'll come up on Retro Rebound. But, dude, playing as Old Snake, I'm feeling things, man. There's nothing quite like great Metal Gear, because this will sound like an insult to the game, but like when I was playing MGS1, I was locked the fuck in. MGS2 first half is fine, but it's really second half of MGS2. Oh man, we're locked in. I don't get that same feeling with MGS3 like others do. Okay. I like MGS3. I just do not like it nearly as much as others.
Okay.
But MGS4, all those feelings came back. I was like, man, dude, when you got this, like, dude, I was crawling through an active war zone to open the game. I'm like, oh, this is serious. I'm locked in. And then a cutscene starts. I'm like, okay, what's going on next? And all you hear is some dude like ripping some ass in like a can. Bartender. And I'm like, no, I'm like, this is the most Kojima shit where like this one guy like lifts the can and you just see the dude like squatting with his pants down, like looking at him, and the guy's pointing a gun at him, and the music cuts as the barrel just slowly rolls away and he rips ass one more time. I'm like, this game's amazing, man. I love it.
Classic.
So yeah, I've been having a blast with it. I thought I'd have it done a little bit earlier, but I was incorrect on that because while there is a lot more gameplay than I thought, Act 3 was the first time I was like, oh, that was like a movie. Like there are some playable segments, but like I definitely was just kind of chilling for one session, and that was nice. But the boss fights in this game, I'll also say, really great. Especially in Metal Gear Solid, Kojima doesn't really miss with many of those. MGS2's boss fights I'm very critical of, but MGS 1, 3, and 4 all have awesome boss fights. And so I've been loving MGS 4, dude. This game is great.
Nice.
Really, really good.
Nice.
Lord of the Rings War in the North. Let's talk about it. We got a write in here from the Jungle Wampa. He says, hey, Maddie, son of plays and cog of the Woodland Realm. Longtime listener, first time writing. Well, welcome to the show. Thank you.
Welcome.
I started a YouTube channel at the beginning of the year focusing on older games. Nice. Good choice. My last video released Monday, and it was on Lord of the Rings War in the North. Effectively, I called it weird, forgotten, and inaccessible. And the video was performing really well for a channel of my size. Little did I know, Aspire was planning on re-releasing the old game on Tuesday just to mess with me. Not trying to plug, just thought it was a funny story I wanted to share after I saw Maddie's video on the game. Would enjoy hearing your extended thoughts on this title if either of you are still playing it. Have a 6 hours of exclusivity kind of day. Thank you, Jungle. And congrats. Congrats on the early success. And I think starting a retro channel now is a really good idea. You know, I think people are looking up a lot of old stuff right now. So good decision. And have fun with it, man. But what you saw is what Retro Rebound thrived from, by the way. We had this incidental moment, just to give a little insight, where after watching Spider-Man No Way Home, I was like, oh, I want to play the Raimi games. And so we fired them up, and then we were like, why don't we make a Retro Rebound episode out of this? And so we did, and the video like exploded. Nice. And then we did that again for when the Batman came out. That dude, what a great time. The Batman, what a movie. And so when that came out, I was like, let's try this again, but with the Batman games. And it worked. And then we found something, the synchronization of pop culture.
Transmedia, baby.
I will say, though, it doesn't work as effectively as it did back then. It works more like game to game now. Back then, it used to be like movie game.
Okay.
Or like show game. Like when Obi-Wan came back, we did a bunch of prequel stuff. Like that did really well. But just a little insight for you, Jungle, that now we're finding game to game works well. So like Power World 1.0 came out. So let's talk about that with Pokemon. And that conversation, which interested us, did really well.
Nice.
We found that works.
I like this. I like that.
Yeah, it's a little insight for you on the retro side of things. Yeah. As for Lord of the Rings War in the North remaster, so I got contacted and they were like, hey, we're shadow dropping this. I was like, whoa, okay. And I played War in the North back in high school. I played it solo because when I tried to play with my friends, like they were kind of not in on it. Like, it's boring, bro. And so I'm sitting there like, well, I guess I'm just going to play it then because I thought it was fun. And so here I am all these years later doing it again. There are some quality of life enhancements they added to War in the North Remastered. It's $20, by the way. It's online 3-player co-op. And the quality of life enhancements allow you to now, as a solo player, switch between different playable characters. So originally it was you pick between a ranger, a mage, or a warrior, and you were kind of locked into them. And they all had their own respective skill trees that you'd manage and equipment that you'd manage. But now with this remaster, it really makes it the definitive edition because you get to just swap everything with everyone. Play as whoever you want, whenever you want, upgrade their skill trees, change their equipment. So it's a really good time. And if you played any of those action RPGs I mentioned earlier in the show, your Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1, Champions Return to Norath, Return to Arms, Justice League Heroes, you've played any of those games, you know what Snowblind is kind of capable of, which is like a very smooth play. You know when you have like a good drink?
Yes.
It goes that smooth, right? Nice, comfortable drink. That's kind of how I describe Snowblind games. Like they're not going to blow your mind like with this incredible story or anything like that. But I think the main pull with them is just they're very playable games. They go down easy. You know, you can play them by yourself and just kind of get immersed in just full on action RPG gameplay, just slapping buttons, killing tons and tons of enemies, interesting encounters, interesting enemy types, fun, simple to digest loot. You can enjoy it that way, or you can play it with friends, couch or online, or, you could just, while you're in a Discord call, you can kind of zone out and do something else. You can listen to a podcast while you're playing it. They're just very easy plays ever since I was a kid. So these games bring me a lot of nostalgia, but also just a lot of comfort. Like I've always loved ARPGs of this ilk. And so Lord of the Rings War in the North is a Lord of the Rings ass game with that skin. Where it's just like a straight up action RPG. And so there are these moments where you work together as a team, like you'll maybe man the turret while like your other party members are going to run around and like cover your flank. And so that's really cool. But again, there are some encounters in this game that I was playing it through going, man, they really did a good job with this. Like one example I used in my review was you would have like your standard orcs that would come at you. They're melee. You'd have some orcs with shields and you'd have to use like a heavy attack or one of your abilities to break through. But then there'd be these orcs with like explosives tied on their back and they'd crawl after you really fast. And so there's this one encounter in the game where after a turret section, you like run away and you jump down into like a bridge where like both gates are up and you're like, fuck, we're trapped. And this bridge, it's like a really small one. And so as the orcs are like crawling over the top and attacking you in melee, here come alongside the walls these smaller ones that have the explosives attached on them. So like I'm standing there with my bow and arrow just like trying to take them out as they're getting close, because when they get down, they're on you.
Suicide bomber.
Exactly. And so as they're down on you, like that's it, you're gonna get hit bad. So I'm trying to protect my teammates as they're protecting me. And that combined with like some spells or skills being co-op driven, like the mage will put down like a shield. And with upgrades, that shield will start regenerating health if you stand within it. Again, none of this sounds like deeply complex, right? But that the ease of play just they had their fundamentals so down pat. I think it's an easy $20 personally. Like if you love Lord of the Rings like I do, and you just enjoy like this old era of like, oh man, the licensed games, man, I wish we got more of these. I'm really glad they brought this one back. It's really cool to see this one get preserved, because since we're pre-2028 and Aspire usually does these re-releases, I'm sure this will get a physical re-release and I will be all over it. But compared to prior Aspire remasters where there's a level of like, oh, they maybe missed a little here, a little there, they did a really good job with this, man. Great price tag, great choice shadow dropping, caught a lot of people off guard. That's why a lot of people showed up for our review, and why I think Jungle Wampa benefited as well, because a lot of folks are like, whoa, what? Like this fucking thing's around? Like since when? It's like since today, bro. So it was a really cool moment. And it was awesome to see how many people cared. Just on a side note, like when we got the review code for it, like I was like, I care about it. I want to talk about this. I loved this game when I was in high school. But I remember we were talking like you're talking to Josh, who's our editor for the channel. He's like, how do you think it's going to do? I'm like, it's probably not going to do much. Who cares? Like, it's like, this is Lord of the Rings War in the North, dude. Like, I mean, it's getting a fucking remaster. Like, that's crazy. Huge. And it did stupid well. And it's like, okay, I'm really happy people care about this, because I'm curious what it leads to, as we talked about with an earlier subject. So I played that remaster. That was a good time. Like I said, goes down easy. And then I got in my scientist bag. It was time to test now. After all of this, it's time to put on the lab coat, put on the specs, and see what the cooks at Virtuos have gotten up to in the last year and change. And that's the Oblivion remaster.
Oh, we can't. We're coming back. Okay.
We had to come back. Now, this is the Switch 2 port I'm talking about because Bethesda. Got to rant for a moment here.
Let's
Give me a moment.
Let's get it.
I got to put some respect on my own name because no one else is going to do it for me.
Talk your talk.
All right. So I decide I'm going to ask Bethesda some questions, right? So after they did their whole big, we're communicating more, I said, okay, cool. Let me ask you a bunch of questions. And one of my questions to them in the week they announced all this Fallout news was like, hey, guys, what about Oblivion Remaster? Like, there's a lot of issues.
I remember this. Yes, I remember.
And they answered us.
Yeah.
And they were like, yes, we will be, we're looking to do a patch. And it's like, okay, cool. No one seemed to pick that up.
Yes.
So then I sat down here on Duke and I was like, all right, like, about the end all be all.
Yep.
Let's get it out to the realm. Nothing happened. But all of a sudden, Bethesda puts out a tweet and now it's headline season.
We was first. You was first.
Yeah, I was first. I need everyone to know that. I need you to know that. It's very important to me. Okay. That's the main reason I was in on this, though. I didn't really care much about it, but like when I knew, okay, this means like whatever optimizations they've learned from this are going to carry over into the PS5, Series X, PC version. I would like to know how well this thing runs then. How great of a job did you do? Docked, we're solid. There's some issues, like visually, you'll be running along. You're going to see like trees loading in, mountains loading in.
Switchy switch.
Yes. Little stink. Yeah. Not the end of the world.
Okay.
Looks a little strange with some characters look very painterly, very wet. It's something about that very, very strange look. Light kind of shimmers on the side.
Little shimmer.
Yeah. Little stinky,
Yes.
Not bad, but definitely like, oh, that's a Switch.
Yeah, that's a Switch. Switch
version. But to me, like, I don't know if I'm a little weird with this, but like Switch docked has a very minimal value to me compared to the handheld.
I'm the same as you. I do not. To me, that like defeats the purpose of me even having the system.
Docked. Like if you're art style driven, I'll play you docked on the Switch because like translates pretty well. But like if you're a game such as Oblivion Remaster, I really care more about the handheld experience because that's what's unique about that all.
How many P's we dealing with? How many P's?
It's less the P's. I mean, it's more like the F's, Okay.
Yeah. All right. A little rough.
Yeah. Like I became the hero of Kvatch very quickly and I run outside, and by run, I mean like,
we got the molasses. We got a little molasses. Okay.
I hitched a little bit. And so it quickly corrected itself after a few seconds, but it definitely, when I was recording, I don't know if I'm like in the minority on this, but I'm a vocal gamer. When I'm playing, I definitely talk to myself a little bit. I managed to turn that switch off when I'm at events though. Thank God. But like when I'm playing by myself, like you hear me in the footage, like the frame starts stuttering. I'm like, oh. like that's all you hear me do is just like a little recoil.
I do the same thing. I'm like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know when that started for me, but I just like started talking to myself when I game a little bit. Kind of like it. It's like fuck. I'm really into this shit, dude.
That makes you into it. It makes you into it for sure.
Like, I'm having this like I'm in my own world, dude. That's sick. But like so the frame rate. Remember that situation I kind of described with Halo where, I talked about the LODs breaking a bit when I'm like right in front of them, when it should be happening at a distance. Yeah. This functions correctly, as in it's not happening when it's right in front of me. Okay. It happens when they're at a distance, but the distance, because the draw distance still pulls them in, they're still quite visible. And so you will see them just kind of walking along a little choppy like that.
Okay.
In, say Cheydinhall, where it's not really a big city. So will I be playing this more? Yeah, dude, it's Oblivion on the go, but is it compromised in some ways? A little bit. Are the load times surprisingly good? Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, load times are good.
Let's go.
Not really sitting, dude. It's shorter than Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, which I did not expect. So load times are pretty good.
Okay.
The lack of crashes is welcome. I was getting taken out when this game first released. That's what made me stop. I got like 35, 40 hours in or whatever it was. And I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore, dude. Like this is like,
stop.
Yeah, like it was, I mean, at least for me, unplayable. I was like, I crashed 3 times in an hour. And I said, that's like, I can deal with a crash every now and again. Yeah. But like 3 times an hour, I was like, fuck this, dude. I was like, I'll wait for them to patch it.
Facts. And it didn't happen.
And so that's my closing message is like, to Xbox and Bethesda, who no doubt crossed this podcast, dude, you cannot wait this long to optimize your fucking game, man. Like you cannot wait till you have something to sell us to be like, and now we're going to patch it. It's like, that doesn't work like that when you're a top 10 selling game of the year. You fix the fucking problem and then you sell us something new because then we're happy and we buy it again with good faith. Not like, oh, now that it's business investment and you're like, oh, the Switch version. Yes. Now we can take these learnings and bring them over. Now the rock and the hard place, which I think you're probably about to bring up, is like Fallout, right?
Wait, no, before we get there, I'm going to back you up before we get to Fallout.
Okay.
This is what I was counting on this. This is what I was, when I saw this on the doc, I said, yes, he's playing the Switch version. Can you confirm, or maybe you haven't had a chance yet, is it safe for me to go back? I want to play this on my Xbox, but I was scared to death. Have the learnings of the Switch that seems to have no crashes as much like that. Has that been applied to the Xbox version so that we're crash free and it's safe now? I would have died, but I was like, bro, when you told me 3 crashes in 1 hour, I said, hell no, with that big a game, no way. And I love that game, so I was just like, I'm gonna wait, and the wait never happened, and it was no. And then I was like, damn. So is it safe?
Well,
never tested yet.
Not yet. So when the patch is out, I will let you know.
Oh, it's still not out.
That's my point. Is like we're talking a year and 4 months later, and they're talking about it. That's why I said you can't wait to talk about it all this time later. Like that's horrible. They haven't even been like they've confirmed it. Like, okay, we're gonna do it. You know, as in like they've gone beyond me. But like, you know, like otherwise, that's all we've got. So I will say the choppiness of the frames, I shouldn't say that. There's a stutter that occurs in Oblivion Remastered when you're like running around the open world that like you'll be running, it's running perfectly fine, and then you'll just hit a hitch and then it'll work fine right after that. But that happened at a high frequency on the PC, and I will say docked on Switch too. I did not see that.
Okay.
So my hunch is that there are genuine improvements here for lower powered devices where it's like, okay, this should hypothetically run better on Xbox Series, PS5, PC.
Okay.
You know, that said, handheld version, you know, little compromise. So
I'm hoping the learnings from the Switch allow. See, this is
for your more powerful ally. Yes, I agree.
This is the perfect game for me on Ally.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I just like, my thing, here's the thing. I refuse to install this game when 100 gigs on my NVMe are at a premium. You cannot be, no, bro. I'm not giving you that slap. I'm not giving you 100 until you show me you are functional. So that was why I was hoping I would get out of this, but so the patch delay come, I got to wait a little bit and hopefully.
Wait a little bit. Okay. Yeah. I will say the Switch port is fine.
Okay.
That's how I would describe it. It's fine. But not anything that's gonna blow your mind like Witcher 3 Switch.
Got you. No, fair enough.
But it gets the job done well enough, and I think there is enough here to be like, oh, you know, they could definitely learn something from this.
Fair enough.
Okay. So that's what I'm playing this week. A lot of old games before, honestly, a ton of new ones. So it's good to get all these wrapped up and out before we dive into a pretty busy review and preview season for Cog and I.
Sure.
All right, let's wrap up with our final news here. First one, the extremely desperate Elder Scrolls Rabbithole. We're here. We've arrived. We finally got something. Food is here, Cog.
Yes.
Asha Sharma has provided the following update. Live playthrough of the Elder Scrolls 6 asterisk. 8 of them. Don't worry, we'll get into it. This morning. The scale and grandeur are incredible. The story is even greater. Now, I'm going to keep it a buck.
I don't give bad when you say that. Let me hear this.
I don't give a fuck what she has to say about grand scale story. Like, you've self-admitted, like, I don't play games. Bethesda has historically not been a story-driven team, so there's also that. But I will happily read into your 8 asterisks, madam, because then Bethesda Game Studios responded and said, it was great being able to show you 8 asterisks. Thank you for the kind words and a wonderful visit. So, a lot of people went, this is such a nothing burger. And what I want you all to do is just take a moment here. Take a moment, breathe, and let the speculation run through you for just a brief moment. Okay? Because these 8 letters actually tell you more than you could ever fucking imagine. And not only that, but Kyle, could you hum for us real quick? Indeed, Starfield has the tease.
Oh.
Yes, this goes that deep, as I'll get into.
Break this down. I didn't see this coming.
Okay, first let's start off with the lore. Because, right, we guys get the tent poles down, right?
Let's break it. Let's go.
So first thing I'm thinking is, what are 8-letter words in the Elder Scrolls universe?
Okay.
There's a lot of them. But what's truly unique to Elder Scrolls? I wanted to start at a very simple place, though. My working theory that has been there since whenever Skyrim Special Edition came out. This is when I formulated my Elder Scrolls 6 theory. There is a book in Skyrim that was written by Mr. Kurt Coleman, formerly of Bethesda Game Studios, no longer there. And in this book called The Great War, it talks about a battle between the Imperials, so the Empire, the Cyrodiil setting of Oblivion, and the Aldmeri Dominion, the elves. Now, this book describes, and I'm going to paraphrase it to save everyone some time here, a back and forth battle with the Thalmor army, being the Aldmeri Dominion, being a quite dominant force. So dominant that your beloved setting in Oblivion got taken over by the Elven army. They moved right into the Imperial city, wiped them out, and they were like, all right, Titus II, you are going to surrender. And so surrender he did not. The Battle of the Red Ring took place. Sick name, by the way.
Red Ring.
And so here come the Imperials. They surprise the Aldmeri Dominion army within the Imperial city and wipe them out. However, the forces are depleted at this point. The Thalmor army has realized that the Imperial army is somewhat of a force to be reckoned with. At the same time, the Imperials don't want to fight anymore because they recognize if they keep fighting, they will truly be decimated and they need some time to regroup. At the same time, over in Hammerfell, which is not officially confirmed, but extremely heavily 99.9% likely to be the setting of Elder Scrolls 6, the Red Guards are fighting a war on their own front.
Shout out to the Red Guards.
Against the Thalmor. My build on Switch 2, Red Guard.
Red Guards.
Yeah, got it.
Salute.
Absolutely. It's great strength build race, by the way.
Amazing.
So they're fighting a war and they're allied with the Imperials. And so when the Imperials start to bend the knee a little bit, they're like, whoa, what are you doing? And so they sign the White Gold Concord, they being the Imperials and the Thalmor army.
Okay.
And what happens is the terms are set. The Empire says that there will be let me read it exactly verbatim from the book here. He says that the terms of the Concordat were the banning of the worship of Talos and, more importantly in this case, the cession of a larger section of southern Hammerfell. And so this is the Red Guard territory. And they view it as a betrayal. They go, wait, what's going on here? You're giving up half our land? Which already was occupied by the Aldmeri Dominion, but now there's a squabble. That's our land. No, it's ours. And so as it continues on, they set up an epilogue, which I will read word for word here because I think it's important context.
Break it down.
My ultimate theory.
Like this.
Hammerfell, however, refused to accept the White Gold Concordat, being unwilling to concede defeat and the loss of so much of their territory. Titus II was forced to officially renounce Hammerfell as an imperial province in order to preserve the hard-won peace treaty. The Red Guards understandably looked at this as a betrayal. In this, the Thalmor certainly achieved one of their long-term goals by sowing lasting bitterness between Hammerfell and the Empire. In the end, the heroic Red Guards fought the Aldmeri Dominion to a standstill, so fighting continued on after. Although the war lasted 5 more years and left southern Hammerfell devastated. The Red Guards say that this proves that the White Gold Concordat was unnecessary, and that if Titus II had kept his nerve, the Aldmeri could have been truly defeated by the combined forces of Hammerfell and the rest of the Empire. The truth of that assertion can, of course, never be known, but the Red Guards should not forget the great sacrifice of Imperial blood from the Breton, Nord, and Cyrodiilic at the Battle of the Red Ring that weakened the Dominion enough to allow the eventual Second Treaty of Stros-M'Kai in the Fourth Era 180 and the withdrawal of Aldmeri forces from Hammerfell. But there can be no doubt that the current peace cannot last forever. The Thalmor take the long view, as is proved by the sequence of events leading up to the Great War. All those who value freedom over tyranny can only hope that before it is too late, Hammerfell and the Empire will be reconciled and stand united against the Thalmor threat. Otherwise, any hope to stem the tide of the Thalmor rule over all of Tamriel is dimmed. And so there we have it. Here is the lingering threat in the Thalmor army. We have a fractured relationship between Hammerfell and the Empire that you'd have to imagine there's your story, the necessary mending of these two to take out the Thalmor, who are not stopping at any level.
They're outside.
So there I started to get more into it. People said, oh, it's going to be Elder Scrolls 6 Redguard. There's your 8 letters. You can't do that. Why is that? There's already an Elder Scrolls Redguard game. The Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard.
Oh, good call out. Okay.
So you can't do Redguard. That's been done before.
Gotcha.
So I started going a little bit deeper because these elves, man, very interesting. Well, what are they called, Cog? The Aldmeri Dominion.
Right, which is 8 letters.
Dominion's an 8-letter word. So there's a candidate.
To
go a little bit deeper here, I looked a bit into Aldmeris, also known as the Isle of Aldmeris, which is the mythical lost continent from which the Mer, aka the elves, are said to have originated. But no one truly knows anything about the elven homeland. Its location, environment, politics, religion, even its existence are the stuff of conjecture. So the elves have truly never had their own home. They truly don't know their own home. And when it comes to the beef between the elves and the Red Guards, this goes back to the first era. They were fighting in the waters between High Rock as well as Hammerfell.
Damn elves.
So this is some generational beef.
Yes, damn elves. That's what about Red Guard.
I know, right? So I can also throw another 8-letter word at you in the Elder Scrolls 6 Aldmeris. However, I think our best, most concrete things go over to another 8-letter word.
All right, what we got?
The Starfield Direct actually may have hinted at this. As posted on Reddit, in the Starfield Direct and in the final game, we can see our employee number during the character creation. A random string of numbers at first look, but if you translate it by dividing it into pairs and then using the corresponding letter of the alphabet, you get the following word, Sentinel. Sentinel is the capital of both the Alkir Desert region and I always forget how to pronounce this, the Merkwasa region of Alkir, which is in Hammerfell.
Okay. So it lines up.
And so it's teased in Starfield. And then there is Kirkbride, who, of course, this gentleman worked on, Michael Kirkbride, was an Elder Scrolls writer. And when someone said Sentinel, he said, yep, on forums. He was at Bethesda for a long while.
What they asked him when he said yup?
They just wrote Sentinel, and he responded, yup.
Wait, recently?
16 hours ago.
Oh, he's stitching.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So now we are really firming up, at the very least, Hammerfell is a setting.
Right.
But then you read the kind of background lore, and the scene is set. The Aldmeri Dominion will be an oppressive force in this game. And no doubt the Red Guards are going to be fighting an uphill battle. There is going to be resistance on the idea of ever teaming up with the Empire, right? They betrayed them.
Absolutely.
They believe the White Gold Concordat is useless. Like, why'd you sign that? We lost so much, but that might be necessary in order to take down the Eldmeri Dominion. I mean, again, you look at the generational beef between these sides and you read about how much of this took place in the water. I really do feel like there's going to be a lot of boat related stuff in Elder Scrolls 6.
Okay.
And so,
okay, let's get you finished. I got a question.
I was going to say, Elder Scrolls 6 Sentinel seems to be the title card.
Sentinel. Okay, let me ask you this. So the Starfield connection was from a creator-player scene?
It was from Bethesda's
own. How did Starfield get involved with this? That's why I'm just so confused.
So in Bethesda's own developer direct, they had a employee ID. And when people broke up each of the two, so it's a corresponding list of numbers.
Okay.
And when you broke up that random string of numbers into pairs, so like 19051420.
Y'all sleuthing now.
They broke it down and it spells out Sentinel.
So y'all really think Bethesda will put this in plain sight, so to speak? Well, it's not plain sight, but like historically, this is something they might be playing around with y'all?
Yes. Now here's why. The most famous example is Fallout 3.
All right, break it down.
In Fallout 3, you have the replicated man quest line. And in that, they talk a lot about the Commonwealth. It's all about synths.
Yes.
And it's all pre-established lore. On top of in Point Lookout, they talk about the next great game, which could take place in the Commonwealth. And these two obviously fed right into all of the setup for Fallout 4. Fallout 4 was entirely about what the replicated man quest line presented, which is the idea of like, we don't know who's real, who's fake. We just know we have a synth. He's out on the loose. We're looking to take him and bring him back to the Commonwealth. So Bethesda has had a history of teasing things because you could tell with their repeat mentions. Like I mentioned, there were multiple statements about the Commonwealth in their own Fallout games. And then in Fallout 4, there's a lot of mentions of San Francisco. A lot of mentions of San Francisco. So, yeah, like they tease in their games often. And there was, a lot of people might forget this. There was a running theory. You might remember this too. There was a running theory that there was this map image that was on the dashboard in Starfield, and the shape looked eerily close to Hammerfell and High Rock stacked on top of each other. So they do this because they know.
They know. They play it in
They
your
know
face.
their community. But this was during Starfield, like 2022 or 2021, like that era of Starfield. So it was like early. They were already teasing some TES 6 stuff. So there you have it. What do you think?
Bro, y'all, listen, man, y'all Sherlock Holmes game is no joke. Like, y'all outside. Like, I one thing about the Elder Scrolls community, like, bro, just Bethesda's community in general, like, the fact that they put these things in their games because they know you guys and they know you guys will sleuth the hell out of this and figure this out is hilarious to me. Now, Sentinel's interesting. I was kind of hoping that at first, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of hoping you went with that Dominion. I was like, Dominion.
I like Dominion more.
I like Dominion. I don't know how I feel about Sentinel, but when you're breaking down the size to it, why it is obviously Hammerfell and the location, and yeah, of course it makes sense lore wise, right? Kind of thing. So I gotta see like Elder Scrolls Sentinel. Does that flow off the tongue? Like, let's be Oblivion, Skyrim, like Sentinel.
Yeah, that's the thing that's weird. If Sentinel's the capital versus, they've never done that. They've done the region like Daggerfall, Morrowind, Skyrim. They've done the idea like Oblivion.
Correct.
But they never done the capital city. That's why I'm still a little more.
I'm still in the middle. Not that I don't believe it. I just don't feel it flows just yet. Your theories sound, everything you guys are saying, all the dots and the I's and the T's and the crosses, I get it. I was just hoping the name flow a little better, but I don't care if the game is fine. Like that's all I care about. But look, but overall to the whole thing, like she's playing it. I'm gonna be real. You know what the tweet that got me?
Matthew Ball.
Matthew Ball.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Matthew Ball plays games. Respectfully. No respect to Asha. But Matthew Ball plays games. So my thing is, he like, yeah, it looks fire. It look okay. You played. Right? So that's where, because listen, we know what they doing. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of like, Sue the Savage Beast. And let's be honest, the climate's a bit, contentious,
hostile,
right? Especially with Bethesda. People outside picketing, union, it's real. And then your man out here.
Rats.
Yup, the rat outside. What's my man Hayes is talking. That's his name, right? Hayes, his last name?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Chris Hayes.
So it's, it's tense. And then again, what I consider breaded circuses. You have to feed the people. The people are unrest. That's what they used to do in Rome. You got to throw a tournament. You got to throw the color. This is the tournament. You throw them the Elder Scroll.
Let the fire developers fight outside. Put on a turn,
bro. Let them fight.
Use it as an Elder Scroll 6 teaser. Fight for your jobs.
And then I'm not gonna front God Howard. Please don't forgive me. But these memes they got of Asha and you, I'm howling at how funny they are.
Yeah, dude. I just
bro.
Or Todd, man. Like this guy just like people are loving it. Like the idea of this guy being held at gunpoint. It's a real sad state of affairs for him.
It's funny. I hate it's just so funny. And I know I shouldn't be laughing, but we have to admit there is a common denominator here. Whether people choose to acknowledge it or not. The base is getting things that we've always wanted for a long time. And we like, yeah, they're talking about their plan. No, I get people like, yo, you haven't showed anything? Yeah, it could be years away. But maybe it's not.
That's what a lot of people are starting to think. Like it might be closer if they're talking like this. But
now here's the thing. Now this is the part I want to talk. If the rumors are true, then things are progressing. And if the rumors are true, that Helix is, because we got controller leaks and all, I don't know if we get into that, but you know what I'm saying? So we could be talking 2027, 2028 potentially. If this thing is anywhere near launch window or within the first year of Helix, and if the strategy, again, this is big wishing.
Yeah.
And if the strategy is still exclusives, we did talk. Man. We did talk. Me and the Duke, Ryan did talk. McCaffrey. If there's any time to test the strategy with something that would make someone want to be in your ecosystem, and again, not saying that people are going to buy $1,500 Helixes, right? All out, but
might, not saying like in the tens of millions, but that definitely would be a good motivator.
And couple that with, remember, you still got PC, and most likely you still make it a cross-generational game on some level that Series X and S consoles could still partake, right? So as long as you're in the Xbox ecosystem and you still have PC, you could partake. This is the title to do it with. This will show that you are serious about your quote-unquote commitment to exclusives, because you are holding the Trump card. Like, this is it. It's GTA, it's Call of Duty, it's Elder Scrolls. They're in the pocket of the people who wear that type of belt. That title wears that belt. So it would be interesting, and it could be. I don't want to get to now. Really wishful thing. I don't want to get too gassed, but one of the biggest Achilles heels and false starts of the series console generation was the no Halo Infinite at launch, with the no major title at launch window.
Yeah, so weird. Yeah,
right.
I still can't believe that.
Bro, could you imagine?
I believe the Halo part, but that nothing else.
Nothing else, bro. I was playing Gears Tactics. I remember what I was playing. I was playing like a dragon. It was a port in the Gears. Bro, it was. I was living my best life, but I understood.
Playing this, dude. This is what I was playing on launch day. For those who don't watch the video version, SSX on 360. I was like, oh, back combat. Day one. I'm like, this shit I've already played. Like, it's so sad.
That's how sad it was for us. If you had an Elder Scrolls around launch window, bro, that hits different.
Yeah.
What do you think? How far you think?
I've been big on 2029. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to put a pin in the balloon.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Big game.
I just think Fallout remasters. Because I'm thinking Fallout 3 remasters next year. If you drop that in Elder Scrolls, I might have a heart attack. Like, I might just fucking keel over. Like, that's it. Like, I don't know, man. That'd be crazy. But I see a more like a annualized roadmap, like Fallout 3 then New Vegas, then Elder Scrolls 6.
Okay, I got you.
But I also like, that's me just putting my brain into the world.
Okay.
Like with my invisible roadmap. I could see a world where it should be sooner, but I mean, again, we're looking at Starfield as sort of the drop off point, right? 2023, and they moved on pretty immediately after that, from what we heard. And Shattered Space, anything go by, they did not have a lot of resources. So, and obviously, even beyond Shattered Space, it's like looking at like Terran Armada, looking at all the stuff they get. It's clear most of the team has been on TES 6 now.
Yes.
And they outsource all of this Oblivion remaster, Fallout 3 remaster. Virtuos is doing that. So they've been hands-on with that. If they came out next year, that'd be 4 years. And I find that hard to believe.
I feel you.
Now, granted, they were pre-producing for a while, but I think at least 28.
Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, is there a world where ZeniMax Online Studios really did accelerate things for them by getting involved on that level? That's the thing I'm wondering with this reset, if there is a sort of like calculation of man hours, like they're looking at it literally on a spreadsheet, like we're gaining this many man hours from this team and they will handle this component of the game and this will get done by this time. And that, logically speaking, game should be done by this point. Like, although it never goes according to that plan.
Of course.
Never. But even the rough plan suggesting that would be interesting. Again, I really, there's two things it could be. It could just be like, it still exists. We're playing it. We're loving it. And we'll talk about when it's ready. There's also the idea of it's getting closer to what I think will happen. Okay, let me just give people a more definitive statement. I think they will do a re-reveal. I think that is part of this, is the idea of not like a Gamescom or something like that, but I think the idea will be, hey, you showed this last in 2018. It's time to talk about it at least one more time before your big reveal. And I think that would be wise because, I have no doubt they're going to try to use this as like the lightning rod game for their next console. And I wouldn't be surprised if that is the plan, that they're going to base their console plans around said video game completely. So yeah, I think they're probably getting ready sometime within the next year to
reveal.
Maybe do another showing of it.
Okay.
Like I've always said, like a Starfield style. You had the Starfield reveal trailer in 2018. And then all those years later, when we saw Starfield and it was like the kind of cinematic story trailer where, you know, the guy's getting up into the spaceship and he sits down, presses all his buttons, looks up, and then release date. I think that was 2021. Like, I think something like that for TES 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've
said that for a while. Locke has always had a really good counter argument of why open yourself up to getting attacked if you're Bethesda, because people fucking hate Bethesda right now. And while the energy's good around Xbox, that hasn't really changed dramatically for Bethesda. It's still clearly motivated by anger because people are like, you talked about the AI video of like Asha with the gun to Todd. It's like, it's still like, yeah, fuck Bethesda. Yeah, put the gun to his head. Like, yeah, fuck that. Like, it's that type of energy with them. So why would you put the game out into that environment this early when a lot can change and people aren't going to give you benefit of doubt? And I think that is a really good counterpoint that I wonder if they're considering as well.
No, that's a great point. And we have to see I think all of them are valid, you know, as far as the reasoning. I just look at it again. We do know Asha does not play games like that. I just thought it was very interesting that she felt the need to tweet this now. And again, the counter will be Cog. Phil has talked about stuff.
I saw pictures. People were quote tweeting with pictures of Phil smiling and holding the controller.
Yeah, with the initiative. Oh yeah, they got him.
They're like, oh no, it's not to get canceled.
That was bad. That was bad. I was like, damn, I remember that. But I would say that the difference being that, at least what I recall whenever Phil was outside, generally it would be like in an interview, and then he would, you know, let you know, hey, I stopped by such and such studios and we, you know, this looked really cool and yada yada, as opposed to the tweet on his own. You see what I'm saying? Like Asha tweeting on her own without being asked about that, to me, does represent a slight difference that You know, she tweets more frequently. To me, I feel like she's a bit more social media conscious and savvy. So I look at it as slightly different. And there's a part of me that says, if you're doing this and Matthew Ball is tweeting, right? And we know they have this investment in consoles. To me, this is strategic. And to me, I'm going to put it out there, maybe I'm wrong. It's a signaling to me. You're signaling you hold an ace card, what you could do with it. Sure. You're excited about it. And maybe, just maybe, this might be in the circumference of a release of a console. You know what I mean? Yeah. The question will be, do they truly commit with the exclusivity based on what could be lost by not putting it on PlayStation? Because let's be honest, there's a lot that can be lost. Sure. We ain't going to sugarcoat that. Yeah. But if you're going to claim exclusivity and you're doubling down and tripling down, this is the title you got to do it with. Otherwise, you just, like me and Ryan said, you just talking. Yeah. You just talk, you pump fake it. Because it's like, if you ain't going to put that title, you know what I'm saying? Like, why did you even mention exclusives then? You see what I'm saying? So we going to see. That's where I'm at. I just find it interesting.
I agree. I think a lot of it is she also just knows, like, I still believe that this woman is extremely astonished by how easy it is to, like, get people happy in this industry.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure there's a level of, like, she is probably thinking to herself, I had to work way harder for, like, good reactions before this. And, like, just tweeting, oh, I really like this game with 8 asterisks, and people being like, oh, theory crafting. I mean, it works, you know? A lot of people will call it jingling keys, and I do think there's a little fairness in that, but also, like, there's a level of that's living in a world, to me, of, like, two things can't be true at once, which is not where I operate. Like, yeah, I can be very cautious about Xbox reset while being interested in where Elder Scrolls 6 is set.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, that's where I kind of stand on the matter. But you know, I don't expect her to show up and be like, yeah, Elder Scrolls 6 is here. It's dog shit. You know, like, I don't think
trash. So disappointed in visiting Bethesda today.
Team's got to work harder. Yo, those memes you guys are making, like, they're real. Like, we're putting them in overtime now. Like, you know,
we heard you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude. Like, I don't think she's gonna say anything else. Same with Matt Ball. I don't think he's gonna say anything else. So I don't really read into it.
Fair.
I think there's a level of, like, you know, it could be, to me, there's a situation where it's just as simple as, like, they understand the value right now of good energy around the brand. Mm-hmm. Why pass up any opportunity to create some good energy? And I think that's all this is. We don't know what it looks like. We're still in the mindset of, I'll reserve judgment until I see it. But for now, like, oh, we're going to get a little tease of, like, the subtitle and stuff and get speculating on that. Sure. And if you're Xbox, why not use that to get your community more involved? You know, again, we talked about layups for years. I'm not going to sit here and dunk on them now because that was another basketball term, but, like, I'm not going to make fun of them for now taking the layups. Of course. Like, yeah, we've been saying for years, like, yeah, go tease some shit for Elder Scrolls 6. Like, duh, it's right there. Like, who cares?
The scale and grandeur are incredible,
man. Yeah, I mean,
the stories.
So is it for Starfield, but, like, you saw how people felt about that. So it's like, most people are like, damn, I was hoping it was smaller.
You know? Fair enough.
So fun little bit of speculation there. We'll see where it goes, but I feel pretty good about the theory crafting going on right now. All right, last story here, Cog. Blizzard, they're Microsoft's top studio. So while Asha's tweeting about Bethesda, she knows the core likes that, but she knows where the money's at. This is according to leaked internal emails reported by Windows Central. And this is reposted by Eurogamer. They say Blizzard President Joanna Faries applauded the recent top-performing results of the studio. And this is an extraordinary performance over the past year, seemingly thanks to Overwatch and Diablo 4. Quote, in fiscal year 26, Blizzard ended the year as the top-performing studio in Xbox's Studios division. This past year has marked our third highest fiscal for top-line revenue in Blizzard's history. Diablo 4, Lord of Hatred, and Overwatch drove exceptional performance, in particular, with Overwatch delivering its strongest quarter since 2022. Faries also pointed to this year's BlizzCon, Blizzard's returning annual game showcase, where big reveals for its lineup of games are expected to happen. Faries wrote, it's my hope that the event can shine a light on the work underway at Blizzard, and that it can serve as a powerhouse or powerful springboard into a new era of momentum and excitement behind our mission to bring joy and belonging for communities worldwide. So, yeah, dude, I mean, I'm surprised. I'm very surprised at Overwatch's turnaround.
Bro,
you know? You sent this to me though. I want you to start because you sent this to me and you just hit me with wow ... So I want to know where your head's at.
I am legit floored by this. Listen, it's one thing to say, you're the top performing studio, right? So I want to, all right, want to break down what were the metrics? What did it for you? There was no World of Warcraft mentioned here. So
That's true.
So I'm sitting there like, oh, it's WoW. But WoW went crazy. Then I look at the two top performers, bro. Shout out to our friend Duke Ellis, Duke Bradley. Yeah. He goes hard for OY. I'm gonna be real with you, Maddie. When Marvel Rivals came out, I was like, they're done.
Yeah, competition's good, isn't it?
Right.
People wonder why we're happy about the things Xbox is doing. We're like, competition's good. Overwatch was never coming back. I don't think if Marvel Rivals dropped. Like that forced them to be like, oh, fuck, the hero shooter.
Bro, I owe them an apology. I didn't see any timeline where they were going to get up off the canvas and defeat Marvel Rivals, or just not even defeat, but just to even be relevant to the fact. So then we got to talk about Diablo 4. Like, Diablo started strong, but then it had its issues and its drop. What the hell's going on over there in a good way? Like, I did not realize that. So for those two games that really have their rebound stories, like it's amazing to me. And to me, who I consider the heavyweight champion again is WoW. And WoW's not mentioned. These are the two drivers, and that this is Xbox's #1 studio. I wouldn't have called it, bro. I wouldn't have called it. I would have said, especially what Playground did.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Playground, for sure.
Minecraft, like, bro, there's studios here.
Minecraft obviously a better pick.
Yeah, there's studios here when it comes to revenue. I know hardcore gamers don't care, but when it comes to that revenue, that moolah, the Kings and these, Blizzard? Yeah. Wow. Shout out
specifically Blizzard, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're removing the Activision part. Blizzard,
bro. And
that's crazy.
God. Think about the people.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Blizzard has beaten these four that we've mentioned. Like, wow. So impressive. I got to pay attention. I'm going to speak to Brad. I want to know what's going on in Overwatch. And for the Lords of Diablo, what's been going on? I'm very curious. I stopped because my thing is I love the game. I'm just not a fan of the seasonal reset where you got to start over. I've always been, a little resistant to that part. I swear I wish they had an offline mode, but I understand the nature of the game. I get it. Yeah. But salute to them. I'm floored by this. I still cannot believe this.
I agree. Yeah, this is quite a lot here, but it seems like a lot of people really like Joanna Faries. You know, she seems to have really came in there and put them on course where they're doing great. I mean, the fact that, like, by the way, this comeback happened while that whole interview with Jeff Kaplan happened. Remember, where it was like you heard the stories about Blizzard before, where like all these people will lose their job because of you, like that type of pressure he was facing. And people are like, fuck this company, bro. But like, they listen to their community from what I understand. And I know people like Locke who play it almost every day.
What's Locke saying?
I mean, I haven't talked to him about it in a few weeks now, but like, I know he loves it. Like he's always on it.
And I got to speak to Brad on the Overwatch side. And then last thing, we can't negate the fact, bro, they also lost the fixer.
Yeah,
Ferguson and did this.
And he's in BioShock now.
That's impressive. Salute to them. I gotta stop paying attention. Didn't know Blizzard. Salute.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what they bring to BlizzCon, but otherwise, Cog, that's it for this week, man. It's 12:17 a.m.
Professional podcasting.
Yeah. Appreciate everyone listening this far. If you thought the show was a little sloppy, it's because at least on my end it was. So thank you for listening this far and bearing with me a little bit, because I was definitely flying by the seat of my pants this week. So we hope you enjoyed as per usual. But Cog, for this week, we need a hashtag.
I mean, the Elder Scrolls thing was kind of funny. We had that. We had a lot of good ones, man.
Yeah, that's actually Sentinel.
DD Sentinel. I mean,
or do we want to manifest Dominion? We both really like Dominion.
I like Dominion a lot.
Yeah,
I'll let you choose because this is your baby. You've been sleuthing. Is what you want to go to when it comes to Elder Scrolls.
I mean, I think it'll be Sentinel if it was like actually in Starfield. Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that it's there. So I'll go with Sentinel. Sentinel DD.
Let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you got this deep into the episode. We appreciate you. Can tag us on Twitter. I'm at G27status. Cog is at Lord Cognito. Use the hashtag SentinelDD. Let us know your thoughts on Twitter or down in the comments below. We appreciate you either way. We'll be back next week to talk more Xbox goodness. And so until then, stay safe, stay well. We love you all. Later.
Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is a product and trademark of Last Stand Media and Colin's Last Stand LLC, and is recorded from the United States of America. The show is conceived by Matthew Mr. Matty Plays Schroeder and me, Colin Moriarty, and is written and produced by Matthew Schroeder. Matty's co-host is Barry Lord Cognito Eversley. Defining Duke's executive producer is Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. As you know, all of Last Stand Media's shows, including Defining Duke, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer support level on Patreon, and we're thankful for your kindness and generosity.